Welcome to Hit the Bricks Live, your #1 podcast for horror movie news, with Lee McCoy from Drumdums, Nick Miller from the Lost River Drive-In, and Davey Deathray. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Hit the bricks, Dorothy.
What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Welcome to episode 14 of Hit the Bricks. I like saying that, hit the bricks. It just kind of rolls off the tongue. I don't know. It's sexy sounding, right? My partners in crime, Nick and Davey, and the beautiful chat. How are you guys doing? Let me know. Davey, how are you doing, brother?
I'm doing great. It's been really busy, as spooky season can be for all of us here in the horror YouTube world. But yeah, life's been good. I've been going back and watching for the very first time a whole bunch of like classic horror movies that I haven't seen. So whether that's really good stuff like The Stepfather or stuff like Ghoulies, like I'm going back and just watching a bunch of stuff I've never seen before. So it's been fun. Yeah.
Don't talk shit about Ghoulies.
Well, it could have been better. Where are the monsters in Ghoulies? Why is it about a cult and not the monsters that are on the cover? Anyways.
What was the other one you said beside Ghoulies?
Stepfather.
The Stepfather.
Oh, I've never seen either one of those.
Oh my God, the
Stepfather's
original
really good.
and the fucking, oh my God. I actually didn't hate the remake either. I didn't hate the remake.
I've heard good things. Yeah, I've heard good
I've
things
never
about
seen
that.
either one.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I know. You're supposed to be the slasher guy, Lee. Come on, dude.
I know, man, but there's so many.
Stepfather's good.
I'll even admit, like when I before I started YouTube, I probably saw maybe 10% of like what I've seen now. Like I was an amateur before I started YouTube. I was like a Halloween nut, but outside of Halloween, I mean, I saw your big guns and stuff like that. But man, there's so much that that I eventually did see because of the community. Really, when it gets right down to it. Nick, is there a movie that you are ashamed of yourself to say that you haven't seen that you feel like you should have seen?
Yeah, shout out to my buddy Mark. He can't believe I haven't seen it. Jacob's Ladder.
Me neither.
I have not
Yeah, I
seen
haven't
it.
seen it either.
But there's a 4K coming out, and Mark was like,
Yep.
I'm sending you that 4K as a gift, and you're going to watch it. And I said, you got it, dude. So I'm waiting to get that 4K before I watch it. Heard great things about it, but yeah, haven't seen it.
I haven't seen. What's the one with Barbara Crampton from the 80s?
The Beyond?
That doesn't narrow it down.
The Beyond?
I know.
From Beyond or whatever? Yeah, From Beyond.
No, not From Beyond. It's like the most famous, like the one
Reanimator?
That's
no
it.
way.
Hey? Or not?
Oh
the
my
Steelbook.
God.
I
You haven't
know,
seen
dude. I
Reanimator?
still haven't seen Reanimator.
Oh, shit.
And the crazy thing is, like, I've had a chat in my DMs with Barbara Crampton. I didn't have the heart to tell her I hadn't seen Reanimator yet.
Well, no, you lie. Yeah, you lie. If she
lie.
asks, you're like,
of
oh,
course
it's
I've seen that.
fantastic. Yeah, I love it.
It's amazing.
Oh, that movie is hilarious. It's such a great dark comedy. I mean, it gets into some fucked up areas, that's for sure. It's
man.
You know what? Watching it alone is totally different than at one point I was watching it with somebody that I was in a relationship with, and I was like, wow, this movie's a lot different when you're watching it with a lady. Some of the scenes
Really?
just don't play the same. Yeah, they just feel a little different. Yeah. It's a must.
Yeah, what would be an awkward first date movie with a lady? Well, I will say
Last House on the Left.
I was gonna say that. I spit on your grave.
I spit on your grave. Yeah.
Yeah.
Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I think that one would be a little awkward.
Hey,
Sure.
no, listen, Lee. That's a litmus test for me. Okay, that's gonna be a litmus test for the rest of my life. My ex-wife didn't like that movie, and I should have known right then. Like, you're not it.
That should have been one of the things that was admissible in court, Nick.
Mm-hmm.
Your Honor, she had no respect for Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 from 2009. I rest my case.
It caused me emotional trauma. That was emotional trauma that I'm never going to get over.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hold that comment up there, Brock Savage. Man, you just freaking teed me right the fuck up. I did my chat. They always they never let me down. Okay, that's awesome because Ed Gein. Yeah, that would probably be an awkward. And hell, Texas Chainsaw Massacre would probably
Sure.
be an awkward one. But before we jump into that, first,
Mhm.
have you guys? And I'm sure you might not have. Have you seen the Ed Gein show yet?
I haven't watched a frame of it yet. I've heard conflicting things,
Oh
So
yeah, it's conflicting.
But
And
I
I know
do
Davey's
plan on
probably
it.
not into watching it, right? Because of our last
No.
conversation.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I even have some. Speaking of teed up, I've got some stuff up here just of all the major inconsistencies that will help me prove a point here later on when we really dive into it. But yeah, I'm not really into the dramatization. I am definitely interested in learning about these people that are complete anomalies. I find that fascinating, but the dramatization to me just seems kind of pointless to turn it into entertainment.
Man, you don't even. But both. I'm kind of glad that both of you haven't watched it because I really want to have a discussion more about. I guess should you watch the show rather than if you've watched the show, because my comments, I got some good views off of that, by the way. I'm like sitting at like
Yeah.
8,000 now, and you never know what's going to hit in YouTube, but I'm trying to, let me pull up this image here that I have of it. Where's the damn poster? Maybe I'll just pull up like a random image. I'll pull up this right, because this is actually,
Be careful.
yeah. Well, this
I
image
love
right
that shot of
here.
Freddy. Oh my God, that shot of.
Was that add to stage? Yeah. Okay. Let's pull that. Let's have that one up, and I'll take Brock's. Okay. I think that's a good image because that's not real life. That never happened. That's the inspiration of Ed Gein. So, all right, I'll start with this. I like watching true crime. I love watching true crime, but I kind of separate the two as far as like dramatizations and documentaries. If you go into my comments of that review, I would say maybe half of them are comedy. And I got tired of responding to all of them because I was regurgitating. I kept saying the same thing. And this is just me. And let me put it this way, okay? Say there's a show coming to Netflix, it's a dramatization, and it could be true or it might not even be a true story, okay? And that's kind of my frame of mind when I go into any show, not documentary. We're not talking about documentary right now. We're talking about show. And the way I treat these types of shows on Netflix or any other streaming platform is, I don't care if it's true or not. I mean, I care about the families and the victims and all that stuff, of course. But the show itself, I go into it with the mindset that none of this is true to me. I just want to watch this for entertainment value. And that might be a controversial approach to watching any show, but that's just my mindset. And then after I'm done with the show, I kind of ask myself, okay, did I like it or did I not like it? And when I got done watching Ed Gein, I was like, wow, that was amazing. I really enjoyed what Ryan Murphy brought to the table. Very artistic, very entertaining, loved, and I'm not going to spoil anything, but I'll say this. I loved how he added in the filmmaking process of Psycho and Texas Chainsaw Massacre and a little bit of Silence of the Lambs. And it's structured in a way where it's like the first part of Ed Gein's life, and then we jump into Psycho, and we get to see like they dive right in. Like you see Hitchcock sitting at a table in a board meeting, talking to everybody about this movie Psycho, and talking about this case of Ed Gein that had just happened a couple of years before Psycho was released. So I mean, they hit the ground running after Ed Gein was captured. And then they jump into Texas Chainsaw Massacre at episode 4 or 5 or something like that. So refreshing to have a show based on a true story take that approach, because 99% of these shows, it's sort of like the rise and the fall, right? It's the same template. They do it for music biopics too. This was different. This was showing the cultural influence that this case had on pop culture, on movies, and it created, not just these box office hits, but these landmark movies. I mean, you got freaking Psycho, one of the most important films, not just horror, in all of mankind. It created the slasher genre, arguably. You got Texas Chainsaw Massacre, again, one of the most important films ever created. Both these movies are based off of freaking Ed Gein. So I go through the show. At the end of the show, then I say, you know what's cool about this? Some of this really happened. Not all of it, but some of it really, really happened. Oh, let me go do my research. Or, oh, let me go watch a documentary now, because then I'm going to find out the true story. I never expect 100% truth when I'm watching a dramatization. I'm lucky if I get 75% truth, There's a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess untruths in this show.
Indulgences, exaggerations.
Yeah, there's exaggerations.
Glorification.
A lot of liberties taken.
Liberties taken. But in the sake of art, right? Especially when you're introducing Psycho and then you see that image on the screen right there. Let's parallel Ed Gein actually doing the murder, the shower scene that's actually in the movie Psycho. And that particular scene is jaw-dropping. Like, they don't hold back. It's extremely violent. And I looked, it didn't really happen. But if they shot the Psycho shower scene today, this is the way they probably would do it. They wouldn't pull back. It'd be in full color, but I loved this approach. But I was kind of shocked by how many people really kind of hated the show. So, Nick, I don't know if I got your approach to watching these types of shows. Are you really into did you like Dahmer? Do you kind of, when you see trailers for these shows, do you kind of jump at them saying, oh my God, I got to see that?
It depends on the character. For example, Dahmer was some of the best television I've ever seen, personally.
And I say Dahmer is still the king. I still say it's a little better than Ed Gein, but carry on.
It's a series like Dahmer. It's going to make you feel a lot of things, but here's the thing with these kind of dramatizations, especially when it's Ryan Murphy at the helm. I know there's going to be a lot of liberties taken. If I want the facts of the case, I'm going to watch something that is presenting itself as the facts of the case. I'll give credit where it's due. I didn't see Ryan Murphy or anybody when Dahmer was coming out or when this was coming out saying, "Oh, this is an accurate depiction of everything." No. They clearly lean into the cinematic quality of this, and so that in and of itself tells the viewer, hey, while this is based around true events, yes, you're going to see things that actually did happen. We're going to kind of up the ante and massage some of the edges because it is television and we want to be entertaining at the end of the day. It's not like a mockumentary.
Right.
So, I don't have those expectations. Now, one complaint that I will agree with some people on is that it definitely does seem like Murphy at times gets, I don't know, he tries to make some of these things or characters or events a little sexy. And it's just kind of not everything's about sex and sex appeal. And I don't know why we're going there, but okay. It worked more in the Dahmer series because, Dahmer was a closeted gay man that was going to gay bars, taking men back to his apartment. That worked. But I guess you can make the argument at the end of the day that a lot of these serial killers have repressed, emotions and issues with that. So it works, but I just feel like it's a little glossy at times and a little overdone. But look, I don't hear the same complaints from people about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. A movie that's been around for 50 plus years now that, tells everyone based on true events, there was a true story around this. And, you don't see people going well, hey, now guys, you're really over dramatizing this and you created this and this didn't happen. I think it's just popular now because the true crime era that we're kind of coming out of, but it really exploded during COVID. I think it made people look at these things with like a magnifying glass in some ways and be like, oh, maybe we shouldn't be fetishizing this. Maybe we shouldn't be over dramatizing these things. And like, yeah, absolutely. I agree. There needs to be some lines there. But I don't go to these kind of Ryan Murphy shows for the facts.
Yeah.
I want to be entertained, and I don't think anybody can say that they're not entertaining.
Yeah. And before I go to Davey, I will say, don't take this as me telling people that don't want to watch this show because of the families. I'm not saying you should watch the show. Everybody, you know, there's a million different shows out there anyway to watch, and our time is so valuable. But I saw a lot of comments stating that I just don't feel right watching this show, and I could like, you know, what's the point of doing that? Who am I to tell people what makes them feel comfortable and what makes them feel uncomfortable?
Yeah,
right?
if it's not something
that,
if it's not something you want to consume, you can't argue with somebody about that. They don't want to consume it for their own reasons. That's fine.
Yeah.
You know, I do think that some of the complaints about this stuff are overblown for sure. Like, I really think it is people reaching in a lot of ways. Like, one specific example was like during the whole hoopla of the Dahmer thing. And, you know, people were talking about, there were a lot of things said that just kind of weren't true. Like, oh,
yeah.
For example, Dahmer's MO had nothing to do with like race. And I really hated how that became a talking point, because like Dahmer lived in a low income area in a city, which, you know, was predominantly minorities. Like, that's just kind of how geography works these days in urban areas. It's just the way it is. And like, Dahmer didn't, you know, have one goal in mind aside from, I think this person looks attractive, I want to keep them. So that's just one example of like, I think people run with certain things and draw their own conclusions, and they want to pick fights where fights really aren't there. But that's another conversation in and of itself.
Well,
yeah,
you
it was
know,
the opposite with Dahmer. He thought black men were the most attractive. So true. That's why he went for them.
My heart always goes out to actual murder victims, and I think if anything, maybe it's, you know, sort of brings new life to their memory in a weird way, because everybody's talking about it. Like one of the characters in this show, her name was Bernice. I want to say it's a W. Somebody
Bernice
in the chat. Warden. Yeah. Immediately I felt for Bernice Warden and her son after I watched this show. You know, I didn't know, because I didn't know if there was actually a sort of a relationship between her and Ed Gein until I went and watched the documentary after. And yeah, there are definitely some liberties taken, but it doesn't take away the fact that my heart goes out to the Warden family, to Bernice Warden. I still felt really, really bad for her. I didn't look at Ed Gein as a good guy in that. And they don't portray him as a good guy in the scene. You know, I mean, they pretty much portray it just like it really happened as far as how the murder happened.
Well, and they didn't portray Dahmer as a good guy. You know, Dahmer was a horrible person. They did show like things about his childhood that are true. Like, he did kind of have a rocky upbringing and some things he was exposed to that maybe did play a role in why he became who he became. But they're not saying that's an excuse for why he did what he did. They're just saying this is pertinent information. Maybe you need to know that his dad and him picked up roadkill and would dissect it at a young age. Like, I don't know. Me and my 5-year-old, we're not going to go pick up a raccoon in the street. Hey, you want to cut it up? Like, just seems a little weird. I don't know.
Davey, what's your thoughts on all this? I know you've already given your thoughts as far as like expand on it. Like, was there a catalyst? Was there something in your upbringing that kind of made you decide, you know what, I don't want to watch the true story type horror stuff. I'd rather kind of focus on fiction?
I think it's just how bad they are at being accurate. And it's not just the horror stuff. It's like, I think music biopics are like the worst. They're the worst offenders.
Oh my God,
but I think they're all pretty bad. To like, I mean, you know, they turned Jimi Hendrix into somebody who was somebody that committed domestic abuse when the person like in that movie that was beaten by him like said that never happened. Weird shit like that. Don't even get me started on Bohemian Rhapsody and how like fucked up that movie is with how it tries to like tell that story. And then when it comes to the horror stuff, it's like, so, Texas Chainsaw Massacre does say this is based on true events. They're just talking out their ass, though. Like, yeah, there's some inspiration from Ed Gein, but they're not saying that this is literally like Ed Gein's story. They're just like, well, we took these aspects of that person and we put them on this character. It's like the Strangers say it's based on a true story. Like, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I've never heard of this story. A lot of like random killings. I guess you could say that you base the Strangers off some random killing. So sometimes I think they just say it to like, it just create that buzz, like the Blair Witch Project. So it's like a marketing ploy in one end. When it comes to stuff like Ed Gein and Dahmer, here's the thing. There are plenty of people out there that can tell the difference between fact and fiction, and they know that everything's not real. But there are a lot of people that are going to go in there, and this is all they're going to get about Ed Gein, or it's all they're going to get about Dahmer is watching this show, because they just, there are people that just consume media. Whatever show is shelled out and shoved into their eyes, they just take it and then they move on to the next, and they don't ask any questions and they don't think about anything critically. Like, I mean, everyone in the chat and then us three here, we're all built a little bit different, where we're a little more curious and a little more thoughtful and probably more nuanced. I mean, I know the three of us are, because we get in trouble for being too nuanced and mature young men. But, when it comes to this stuff, I think that the person is going to be glorified. That's the end result of these dramatizations, is the glorification of the monster, unfortunately. And I'm not saying that you, Lee, are glorifying it by enjoying the show or anything like that. I watched your review. I thought it was a good review, but it ends up with it just, that's the way it rolls out. So let me just rattle off a few of these things, because these are pretty big inconsistencies here. Evelyn Hartley, the series shows Ed abducting and killing teenage babysitter Evelyn Hartley. In reality, Hartley's 1953 disappearance was never linked to Gein, and he denied involvement, even passing a lie detector test on the matter. Bernice Warden, the real Gein, admitted to investigators that he wanted to possess her because she resembled his mother, but he never had a romantic or sexual relationship with her. Use of a chainsaw. The real Gein used a gun to kill one victim and dismembered another without a chainsaw. Adeline Watkins, let's see here, portraying her as his girlfriend and accomplice. The real Watkins briefly knew Gein, but later retracted statements. Nazi inspiration. The show suggests that Gein's interest in skinning his victims came from being exposed to the crimes of Nazi war criminal Ilse Koch. While both Koch and Gein created items from human remains, there is no documented proof that Gein was inspired by her. Sexual activity. The show explicitly depicts Gein sleeping with the corpses of his victims. After his arrest, the real Gein claimed he did not have sex with the bodies because of the smell. Adding more victims. 6 victims. He killed 2 people in real life. So, and that's just like the psycho thing, Lee, really quick. Contrary to what the show implies, Gein's crimes did not inspire author Robert Bloch while penning his novel Psycho. So maybe it inspired Hitchcock when he adapted the book to a film, but the book was not inspired by Ed Gein. So, that's just a handful of things here. There's a couple others that, whatever, I've talked for long enough. So I struggle with these things, because if you're going to, we lost Lee? Lee's gone.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll be back momentarily.
He's mad at me. I think what, Nick, neither one of us have seen this. There's just something about, like, I do like the fiction approach, because then that way you're just making it all up. If you're going to make some of it up, just make all of it up. It's kind of like the Ed and Lorraine Warren stuff. Like The Conjuring, I'm like, these are kind of boring. Like, these people are like snake oil salesmen. Just like make up some fun shit, like.
And they do in the Conjuring movies. Yeah, they definitely do. I mean, they still go, oh, it was a true case, and it's like, you're true's doing the heavy lifting there. But no, I mean, to your larger point, I don't disagree with your overarching point here. I guess my thing for that would be, and I've seen some people chatting about it in the chat too, is like, I don't put that on the creators of these shows and these companies that put these shows out. I put that on the viewer. The onus is on the viewer. If you want to know the truth, especially in the internet age that we live in, if if you're choosing to not form, to not have critical thinking skills and to not, investigate these things on your own, that is your choice. But I'm not going to fault Ryan Murphy for a bunch of people with the attention span of goldfish not wanting to actually figure out what really happened here. I mean, it's like, again, you're right in that it's sad that in the age we live in, there's a lot of people that are going to take that as fact. But then I just look at that like, well, then we're not the same, because you can tell me anything and I'm going to look it up. I'm going to research it. I'm not going to just blindly believe shit because it's being put in my face. I mean, I remember when The Conjuring first started and I loved that movie when I saw it opening night in theaters. I went home and I researched that story. I wanted to know what actually supposedly happened here. How much involvement did the Warrens actually have? But sadly, we live in an age where a lot of people aren't going to do that. Furthermore, to your point, when you're talking about inconsistencies, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, loosely inspired by Ed Gein, no chainsaw. He never used a chainsaw. There's a lot of examples of this.
I understand that the creators aren't responsible for, people being dumb. Like, I'm totally with you on that. But isn't the onus for glorification of these monsters, isn't the onus on the creator ultimately? If their lies and if they're non-truths or indulgences or exaggerations ultimately end up glorifying and making a monster something that they weren't ever, like, I do think the onus falls on the creators for that.
I do. I take issue with the premise of that question simply just because personally, like, I don't care if Evan Peters is playing Jeffrey Dahmer and I don't care how pretty it looks and how high the budget is. I watched that show and you see everything that Jeffrey Dahmer did to people.
Yeah, you do.
If people are going to be simping over Evan Peters, Jeffrey Dahmer, that says something about
they're pretty screwed up.
It was it was spelled out very clearly to everybody. Like, oh, in this episode, he's going to kill someone and dismember them. In this episode, and it's like, he's going to smash a skull. And it's like, I get what you're saying. And I don't disagree. Like the Menendez brothers one, I will agree on that one because Ryan Murphy definitely had more of an agenda there because that one is clearly a 50-50 issue. There's a lot of people in this country that feel like the Menendez brothers should be acquitted. They should be let out. And I think that Murphy is on that side too. So I think that kind of seeped out into his storytelling there. He wanted to kind of glorify them in a way and justify what they did. So the complaints that I heard from that show will totally agree with you there. And I haven't seen Ed Gein, so I can't speak to that. But with Dahmer, if anybody walked away from Dahmer and they're like, you know what? He was a misunderstood, cute little boy. You're fucked in the head. Like, I don't know.
Dahmer makes Gein look tame, I would say.
Yeah, and I think to give credit to Ed Gein, not that, but the show, it's almost like you can tell that he's not trying to tell the actual story beat by beat by beat. He's taken some crazy liberties, throwing in the influence of, Psycho and Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Silence of the Lambs. And it was just a unique approach. And I think Ryan Murphy's not the first guy to do this. You could go probably 50 years back, and every biopic that's about a musician or a murderer, a serial killer, even somebody as meticulous as David Fincher took liberties in Zodiac. Because the reason they do that is because they still have a 2-hour window, 2.5-hour window, and they got to package this thing to be entertaining. And if you tell it in the format of like a documentary style, it just might not sell that well in movie form.
That's why I had an issue with the Menendez brothers and Ed Gein being season 2 and season 3, because I was like, there's not enough history there for you to stretch out 10 plus episodes unless you're going to over dramatize a bunch of it. Dahmer, you did. Dahmer killed over a dozen people over decades. Like, yes, you can stretch out a full season of television there, but like these ones, I just don't see how you could.
Yeah. And there's some fantastical scenarios in the Ed Gein show as well, where it's clear that even in the show, this isn't really happening, like the Psycho scene. The chainsaw scene is actually more of a dreamlike scenario. You know, it even has like a musical number in the background. So I like that he's trying to tell the audience, hey guys, we get it. This, what you're seeing right now, this did not happen. And we're trying to overstress that in the way that we're presenting the scene. So I think that's why it sort of works for Ed Gein. And I was kind of surprised by the response to it, but maybe I shouldn't, you know.
Well,
Let me get this super chat. Oh, go ahead,
Yeah,
Davey, and then I'll get the super chat.
They allude to him like helping to catch Ted Bundy or something like that too? Did they do that in this show?
Yeah, there's a scene where basically it's a quick scene. They sit him down and they ask him more like what's in his mind, and
Gotcha.
he mentions a tool that Ted Bundy might use for a specific action that he does against one of his victims. So it's not really, you know, let me lay it all out for you. The complete. It's not like a Hannibal Lecter type deal where he spends. No, it's one scene, so it's not even like that. Relevant.
It's bizarre they did that because that didn't happen, and it's actually what Ted Bundy did to help catch the Green River Killer. So it's weird that they're taking like.
It just sounds like a Hannibal Lecter thing. They wanted to. They were like, we're going to make him Hannibal.
But it's funny because they're probably going to do a season on Ted Bundy, and Ted Bundy actually did, you know, assist.
And oh my God, that'll be like
it's bizarre.
How many dramatizations have they had on Ted Bundy? Hell, even in the last decade, there's probably been a couple.
A lot.
One was Zac Efron.
Yeah.
So, Gold Standard. Thank you, good sir. It's always nice to see Gold Standard in here. He says, have any of you guys seen the David Gordon Green Halloween trilogy? I heard they were great. What up, Lee?
Sounds like a sarcastic $20 super chat. I love it.
It could. I mean, do I
it's
even
worth
entertain?
it.
I guess I kind of have to entertain it, right? Of course, yeah. If you've been watching Hit the Bricks, Gold Standard, he's in here, and he's very generous, and he likes to put a jab in for David Gordon Green. He definitely hates. You know what? I would ask Gold Standard, is there anything that you like about the trilogy? Because you seem to like hate, and this isn't me like picking on him or anything. I mean, there's a whole audience that hates Halloween Ends, especially with a fiery purple passion. So, you know, you like what you like. Let's throw that to, is there something that you, Davey, I'll use the word hate. Is there something you hate? One thing that you might hate about the David Gordon Green trilogy?
Ooh, hate. I really don't like all the stuff that surrounds Tivoli in Kills. I don't know if I hate it. It's just not the kind of like grim horror that I expect or want from a Halloween movie. So I know I get the point that they're making there. I think they still probably could have made that point, but they're, you know, being really dramatic with it. I don't think there's anything I hate in that trilogy. Hate's too strong. I love those movies. They're all top fivers in the franchise for me. So you guys know me.
I think the only thing, and it's even hard for me to say hate, the only thing I hate out of the trilogy is Evil Dies Tonight being said too many times. I think they should have said, I don't mind the line, you know, because it is a mob mentality. They're you know, and I've seen this where you get people riled up, right? And it definitely mirrors the current times. So I like where they were going with it. I'm not against, I love Kills. I love it to death. I just think they should have, in the edit, said, hey, does he say Evil Dies Tonight way too many times? Nobody said that?
There's 2 times. There's the woman with the curly hair, the curly big hair in the hospital that's like, evil dies tonight. She says it like right back to him with a different inflection. And then there's a time where like a sea of people are taking Tommy away and he's like marching with them and he turns around just to go, evil dies tonight. Yeah. Just like
I expected somebody even like presented in question format, like evil dies tonight. You know,
exactly.
And then the next person
like
says,
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Nick, what about you? Is there anything you hate? Gold Standard, he's gonna clip this out over because we're all hating on the David Gordon Green trilogy. Nick, I'm sure there's one thing in this movie that you're just like, it just drives me nuts. Go ahead, Nick. Lay it on me.
Just the misuse of some characters. There's just missed opportunities here. I'm largely a fan of the trilogy. I feel like the trilogy got better as it went on personally.
Yep.
But they misused. There's a lot of missed opportunities. Bringing Charles Cyphers back was an awful idea. Genuinely terrible.
Yep, I agree.
If you're going to bring him back, for him to not have a moment with Laurie is just like, what the fuck are we doing? It's kind of like in No Way Home where Goblin and Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man didn't face off. I was like, what are we doing here? Like, that's a real huge missed opportunity. And the same thing, like Allison doesn't get anything to do until Halloween ends. Like, she's just like basically a character that's like, oh, hey, there's another Strode. Remember, like, you get a scene every now and then where you're like, remember this one, but she gets nothing to do until ends. Lindsay, why'd you even bring her back for ends? You didn't do anything with her in ends. Like, there was no point in that whatsoever. So yeah, just stuff like that. I largely like the trilogy, but there were some missed opportunities.
Yeah. Not hate, but I could pick something out of every single movie in that trilogy that I would have done without. Maybe, you know, and I won't go through all of them, but yeah, I'm sure we all can do. I will say
give us
quickly,
a dissertation on the fixes. You know, people
I
like that shit. I can tell you, they like. That
oh yeah,
shit.
they do. Oh yes, they do. If you do a quick video on it, yeah. But I will ask you to real quick because I presented this question in Killer Flicks. How would you rank this trilogy? And I was surprised by how few had my ranking. My ranking is Ends number 1, Kills number 2, 2018 number 3. Yes. And I'll ask the chat that too. Davey, real quick, what is your quick ranking of all 3 movies?
Mine's the same as yours.
Yeah, got better as it went.
Why? Just because nobody agreed with me and I had like freaking maybe 50.
I don't even think that it's that hot of a take, guys. Like, I know to some people they have like a deep affinity for 2018, but I just look at 2018 as like, oh, that's cute. You're trying to do the H2O thing. Good job. And it's endearing in some ways, but I'm like, I feel like they played it way too safe.
When Kills comes out, then I'm like, okay, here we go. Here we go.
That's when David Gordon Green was finally like, okay, we got the necessary evil out of the way. Now we can kind of get weird.
We can party.
Yeah. Well, and they didn't know that they were going to get a whole trilogy. So it's sort of like 2018 is like, it's a good standalone. You know, it's stronger as a standalone than it is as the first part of a new story, you know?
Oh yeah.
And I would say this, like one of my big things that I've said a couple times is for those that don't like the David Gordon Green trilogy, or maybe they just hate Ends or whatever, take the same way you're grading those movies and go back and watch all the sequels and see how mean you're going to be to them. Because take off the nostalgia glasses and be just as harsh. Be just as harsh on H4. Everyone's, dude, H4, I got a wild hair up in me about H4 because it's like everyone's like, oh, this friggin' atmosphere and it's got the Halloween feel. Yeah, the opening the credits do. And then after that, it's just like a run-of-the-mill kind of mood and atmosphere. Curse of Michael Myers, which we're going to talk about later, has way more Halloween mood and atmosphere than Halloween 4. And then
Myers,
everyone...
That's the best atmosphere of the movies, I think.
Guys, I've been going through the entire franchise. Like I think last week I started the whole thing. And this is going to be the first time I've watched everything from Halloween 78 all the way to Ends. This is the first time I've done it all in succession. I'm having a freaking blast. I just finished. I'm at the David Gordon Green trilogy now. I just finished. I'm doing a new ranking actually on my channel because my rankings changed. I definitely have some updated thoughts about every one of these movies, which was kind of cool as I was watching it. Halloween 5 has the worst fucking score out of the entire franchise.
Shut the fuck up.
I'm saying it. I'm not the music. Like I love the rock songs in the movie, but the actual John Carpenter's Halloween theme in the movie is the laziest.
You gotta be fucking shitting me.
I don't like that. The
piano is too. No, damn it, Lee. Listen. I will not hear the slander. That opening sequence with the
opening is good. The opening is
pumpkin
good,
and the theme just like sped up really quick, and then it kind of slows down. It's fucking awesome. Alan Howarth was cooking. But
then later you'll have like daylight scenes where you'll have like Mike, the dick Mike with the car, and you'll hear like these little
Yeah.
don't even belong there. And I'm like, and then you got the honk
shit.
Yeah. You know, just
Yeah.
like, what are we
Dog
doing?
shit. Total. No, I
It's
agree.
honk.
Dog shit. Dog shit.
I was like,
But
fuck you, Halloween 5.
listen,
Damn you. Why are you doing this to me?
Listen to Alan Howarth's score by itself. Like it actually is a really solid score. I think a lot of that had to do with editing. I don't know what they were doing in editing.
Yeah.
They're like, what if we put this little random music cue here? Like, wouldn't this be crazy? And it's like, yeah, crazy bad, but they did it anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
yeah,
there's some editing decisions in that movie where I'm just like, I don't get it. But it's a good score. It actually is.
If you put your Jalo brain in your head when you're watching Halloween 5, then you like it. Don't get me wrong, I still love Halloween 5, but just those little things jumped out at me. But then they have some of the most awesome stuff in Halloween 5 that's nowhere else in the franchise. You know, that's really cool.
Laundry chute sequence is probably top 5 in the franchise. I would say, just in terms of like suspense and stakes.
Michael wearing the brute mask. That scene's my favorite scene in the film.
I love that. Yeah, and he's like gripping the freaking steering wheel.
Oh, underrated,
and his
bro.
eyes get all wide when she kisses him. How his eyes widen, like, bitch, I'm about to kill you.
Oh yeah.
I also
Michael
think it's
was
perfect
actually
for
scary
Michael.
in that scene.
And I also think it's perfect for him because he likes to play with his food. So he kind of like leans into the fact that his name is Michael. Like, oh, that's her boyfriend. He's like, oh yeah, you know, I'm gonna play into this a little bit. But then when she wants cigarettes, he's like, I'm done. Like, I'm leaving.
The poor guy has probably only had accidental boners in his whole life. Let's be honest, people. And then you've got Wendy Kaplan snuggling up on you. Like, yeah, I'd rip right through my pants if I were him. It would be
some movie Misfits mentioned. He mentioned the scene where Loomis gives that speech to Michael in the woods. Dude, that thing is fucking love the way that shot looks beautiful. And seeing Michael off in the distance, but Loomis can't see him as he's talking to him, and he's just yelling like, "Go home, I'll be there waiting for you."
Go home,
Michael.
Yeah, anytime Loomis is trying to reach Michael, Loomis is the only guy, by the way, that can get 2%. Everybody else gets 0% with Michael Myers. Michael Myers is like, I'm not going to waste my time listening to you. You are dead. I'm killing you right now. Loomis gets 2% though. He's able to crack a little bit of the code and get in there just enough. But if he moves forward a little bit too far, then that triggers. That's it. It's over. And then Myers has to I think Myers truly doesn't want to kill Loomis. I think he just wants to get him the fuck out of the way.
Yeah, he's like, get away, old man, dude. Like, your breath smells like whiskey. You're always yelling at me. Like, get out of my face, dude. Yeah. All
right, we're gonna jump into Halloween 6 here pretty soon, just to honor that movie that we all love so much. But let's take a couple of super chats here. Chappie, having a great time tonight with you guys. By the way, it feels like forever. Yeah. Chappie, thoughts on Predator Badlands being PG-13, good or bad move? I don't think it's a bad move at all, and I'll say it because there's very few human beings in this movie, so I think that's why they're making it PG-13 for creature violence. I think creature violence in the movie. Maybe I'm wrong, but right now I will allow it. I don't have a problem with it being PG-13. But if then I get in the movie and then there's a whole bunch of people like humans show up, then I start getting, oh shit, man, we're PG-13. Are we gonna have like cutaway scenes? I don't know. So I'm not like super jazzed about Badlands, even though I loved Prey. But I don't know. The trailer hasn't really like completely won me over yet. So I don't know. That's my thought on it. What about you, Nick?
Is it Trachtenberg again?
Yeah, it is Trachtenberg.
Okay.
That's the only hope, I think.
Yeah, I don't really care because most of the best action movies are PG-13. Just in my experience, you can get away with a lot more in action movies than you can in horror movies. That's just true. And also the lack of human characters. Yeah, whatever. If it was an alien movie, it would bother me. I'm going to be real with you. If it was an alien movie, it would bother me. But you go back and watch Predator. It's pretty tame. I mean, compared to today's standards, like it really is.
True.
Predators was PG-13. I thought that came across fine. Right? That was PG-13, if I'm not mistaken.
Are you sure?
No. Was it
R? You keep talking. I'll look that up.
Was it R? Maybe it felt PG-13. I don't know. It just felt tame. I was going to say.
Sorry, go ahead, Nick.
It didn't feel tame. It felt.
It's R. It's rated R.
Okay. So I guess I'm just like, whatever. Like alien movies are different for me though, because I need a chest burster scene. I gotta have it. You're not gonna get that in PG-13. I need to have that little xenomorph mouth come out and pierce somebody's skull or something. I gotta have it. And you can't do that in PG-13.
Dude, AVP Requiem, man, that scene with the pregnant lady, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I just wish I could see anything in that movie at all. Really, really dark.
Yeah, I actually made my own cut of that because I wanted to fix that. So now you can see it. I called it the DD fix. And I've had a lot of people reach out to me saying, hey, can you hook me up with the DD fix so I can finally see this fucking movie? And I send it to them. And then they thank me. They reach back and they say, thank you so much. Now I can actually see the movie.
It's still not going to fix the fact that you don't get nearly enough of the Pred Alien, that for whatever reason, most of the cast and crew, it's just largely like forgettable. Like, I don't give a fuck about you. Like,
yeah, I love that movie. I do. Because it takes place. They finally put it in the real world with young people, which is kind of cool. It's got like a sexy factor to it. And they're trying to like, for some reason it works. They shoe in like this one character from the army, and she's supposed to be like kind of a Ripley type character. And the movie just constantly goes. I think it's too short, and it's definitely got problems. But I do think people are too hard on that movie. Right?
Well, you know, they're building toward that again. It's very obvious that they're building toward revisiting AVP, which I'm totally down for. And I also, but anyway.
Yeah.
Davey, what do you think of it being PG-13?
Thank you, Nick.
I think it's going to be fine. I think it's exactly what you said, Lee. It's just mostly going to be non-human violence. So, you know, the new Tron movie is PG-13 and there's a whole bunch of like deaths in it, but it's like a bunch of cubes falling to pieces. You know, it's like a program that gets like brutally killed, but just turns into little tiny cubes. So they found their way around it. They're creative about it now. And I think it's fine. It's just going to make more money.
What if the movie opens with the Predator fucking a goat?
I'm in, you know, it's just starting it off.
Wait, this is PG-13? What's going on?
It says somehow PG-13 just flashes on the screen as this is happening.
This scene.
Yeah.
Damn it.
And then Ed Gein comes in and sleeps with all of them, even though he never did that.
Yeah, I'd watch it. Why not? Okay. Chappie's got another super chat here. We'll get this one, and then we're gonna make love to Halloween Curse of Michael Myers. Okay.
All right.
Chappie says, I also saw a video on what went wrong. David Gordon Green, Halloween trilogy. I wonder, why do some people hate this Halloween trilogy? Do you think it will age well in time? That is a good question, actually. Will this trilogy, and I think you can hearken this especially to Halloween Ends, and I've always maintained this. I think Halloween Ends is going to have the Halloween 3 treatment. I think in a decade from now, I think people that maybe hate Halloween Ends, some of them might actually come around to the movie. I think once all the dust is fully settled, you know, and I could be wrong. There's people that are going to go to there's people that still hate Halloween 3. They're out there. I've talked to them. Okay. And you can't change their mind. So I hated Halloween 3 for a long time. And now it's one of my favorites. So chat, what do you guys think? I think and I'm already seeing it it's starting to trickle. I'm seeing people coming around saying, hey, I actually watched your review on Halloween Ends, and I kind of have come around to it a little bit, which is kind of cool. Mm-hmm. So Nick, what do you think, man? Do you think it's going to find its audience, this whole trilogy even?
So Tony, that was probably my video because the algorithm really helped me on that one. And buddy, that comment section was a fucking war zone.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to say that I largely agree with you, Lee, that I think it'll be Ends if any of them get reevaluated as years go on. And I think part of the reason for that is because years from now, we'll have more Halloween movies. So people won't be in the mindset of, really, that's the last one? How dare they go out like that? I think that was part of it. They were like, Michael Myers can't go out that way. Well, he's not going to. But I think Ends will get reevaluated. I honestly don't think 2018 is ever going to have the staying power that I think Blumhouse, Universal, everybody hoped it would. Huge success and restarted the franchise, absolutely. But I just don't see that one being a one people ever really talk about, like in the sense of like, man, I just discovered Halloween 2018 and holy shit, I was wrong. Like, No. In my experience, 2018 is a movie that ages poorly for people as the years go on, where they're like, yeah, starting to notice this issue and that issue.
I agree.
So if any of them do, it'll be ends. But, you know, I largely look at it like this, man. If they come around to it, awesome. If they don't, you're lost. I really don't give a shit. But it's a really, really good movie, in my opinion. I think it tells the only coherent, somewhat original story of that trilogy. I'm just going to be real with you. And, you know, it was a shock to the system for a lot of people. I get it. But I do think it'll age better as time goes on. But honestly, I think the one I've seen the most change of heart on in my time on YouTube has been Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, believe it or not.
Yeah,
I mean,
for sure.
It's been some of my favorite comments I've gotten, you know, dozens over the years of like, you changed my mind on this movie. I watched this movie from a different lens and I kind of get it now. And, but Ends is one of those ones where, although some people will come around, there are going to be people that are never going to watch, or they're never going to be okay with a copycat and Michael, you know, in their opinion, made out to look like a bitch, even though he was in his late 60s and he had been beaten to a pulp in the previous movie. They're still not going to accept that. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Davey, I watched the producer's cut. I watched both the theatrical and producer's cut back to back, same day. So I spent 3 hours watching Halloween 6. I thought of you because I know you prefer the producer's cut. So I thought to myself, you know what? I want to see what Davey's talking about. It's been a while since I actually sat down and watched the producer's cut. I usually always watch the theatrical cut. You're right to a point. I still slightly prefer the theatrical cut, but that's a warm blanket. The producer's cut, there is a vibe to that movie that I did not really pick up on as much before, but it does feel a lot more consistent. And I really warmed up to the score much more this time. I mean, maybe it's because I had it on my 65-inch. It looked fucking glorious. And then I had my sound bar. I got this new sound bar that's like really nice. Cranked it up as much as I could. My ears almost bled. And the score, there's a lot of parallels to the first movie with the score. And it does do some things on its own as well. But I do think the score feels more consistent. And it's very different than the score in the theatrical cut. And that's not a knock on the score of the theatrical cut. I like the theatrical having that rock inspired, you know, you have the guitar freaking when it's just like walking
pinch harmonics.
I don't know why do we got to get a guitar solo, but yeah, and maybe it's because I've watched the theatrical cut like 900 times, but it was a vibe. It was really nice, and I have my problems with the last act. You know, join us, you have talent. That line definitely makes me roll my eyes. But man, overall, the producer's cut, it's the warm blanket of the franchise. And the good thing is I will rewatch the producer's cut just because of that score. I love that the score in it. And I don't know. It's more cohesive with the story. So there's Davey,
so much
man, you
more.
kind of won me over a little bit.
Yeah, I recently rewatched those. I mean, I grew up with the one that we all grew up with, which is the theatrical cut. So that was the one that I watched, you know, so many times until I picked up the producer's cut maybe like 10 years ago, 12 years ago, something like that on Blu-ray. And man, it watching them back to back, because I 3 nights ago I did the theatrical cut, the next night I did the producer's cut. And never before I've noticed certain things like the producer's cut. If you love the character of Loomis, the producer's cut is your cut. If you don't like Loomis or you like shitting all over him, then theatrical cut is the way to go, because they remove so much of Loomis from here. They put him in the hospital when Tommy runs into Loomis when he has the baby, and he just, in the theatrical cut, he just runs into Loomis in the hospital. Why is Loomis at the hospital? No reason. No reason, because the reason why he's at the hospital is because Jamie was still alive and was brought to the hospital in the producer's cut. So there's just so much more cohesiveness going on with the story. really feel a bigger sense of betrayal from Dr. Wynn. Now, the betrayal in the theatrical cut is just like a rug pull, but in the producer's cut, there's a lot more of Wynn and Loomis kind of tag teaming this whole thing and going along with each other. And so it brings more stakes and more value to that storyline there. There's little simple things like in the theatrical cut, why does Paul Rudd open up with the narration as Tommy Doyle? The audience has no idea who that is unless you've already seen the movie.
Who the fuck is that?
So in the producer's cut, it's Dr. Loomis, and the dialogue's a little bit different, and it just makes so much more sense.
That's a nice touch too.
Yeah, and it comes down to little things like no more of the like editing, no more epileptic fits on the editing, and a way better score, a score that feels more like the original. Not only that, there are these shots where Kara's walking around the college campus, and then when she comes home and she's walking around the house, those shots, the editing just breathes so much more. Joe Chappelle put together something.
Breathe.
Yeah. Just like it lets it be. And Joe Chappelle put something together here that was really close to like that original Carpenter feel. And then they just totally fucked it up with what they did in the theatrical cut. So, I mean, there's other little differences too, but yeah.
Yeah. H2O totally stole the ending of the producer's cut. If you ever think about that, the bait and switch, they do it in the producer's cut. Yeah. H2O completely stole that.
And I will say this, the runes, they're pretty weak. The end comes really quick in the producer's cut. Neither cut has a good ending because it's not a better ending to have is it a lead pipe that he kills Michael with, or is it actually the editing? Is it the editing that kills Michael? Because he's got this green blood coming out of his mask.
Adobe Premiere Pro.
Yeah, it's just all this. I don't know. Neither ending is great, but at least in the producer's cut, it doesn't seem like they just like left Loomis there on the side of the road next to the hospital. Like Loomis at least has a little something to do.
There's a couple of stingers from Halloween 2 in the producer's cut. Did you ever notice that?
Oh yeah.
I wish I could I wish I had like the stinger up on my little mono pad there, but if you watch it, there are a couple of stingers from Halloween 2 that pop out. And the scene where he pulls the bed sheet back, where you got the girl laying on the bed. In the theatrical cut, it's and then metal slamming against metal. And in the producer's cut, it's kind of that Halloween 2 stinger, you know?
Yeah, and they do weird stuff too. Like some of those jumps, in the theatrical cut, they add this really loud noise. Like when Kara's brother like surprises his girlfriend towards the beginning of the film. And then in the producer's cut, they don't do a stinger. It's just the visual. It's just the visual jump. It's just a little more respectable or respectful to the audience.
It's the both cuts are so different, not just in like story decisions, but also just the total vibe, the music, everything. So I think the good thing about both versions is some days I might be in the mood for the theatrical cut. Some days I might be in the mood for the producer's cut. And both times I could equally be satisfied. And that's what happened when I watched them back to back. I enjoyed the theatrical and I enjoyed it. And I liked that they were both, so they were different enough to make it feel like two separate experiences. Okay. So Nick, passing it to you, I believe you prefer the theatrical cut like myself. Tell us why the theatrical cut is the total fucking boss. Okay. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, I can concede the point that the producer's cut is more narratively coherent. The theatrical cut excises certain things that I think are pertinent to understanding the overall plot that Daniel Farrens was going for. Now, granted, I don't view it that way, and it doesn't confuse me because I've seen both cuts. So it's like I can fill in the blanks, but a normal person might be like, well, what did that mean? At the end of the day, you get into an argument. It's more just like what you prefer, what works better for you and why. But I've always said for a long time that the producer's cut may be more narratively coherent, but that doesn't mean the narrative is coherent. And what I mean by that is, yes, the story that Daniel Farrens was trying to tell is more present in the producer's cut. However, I don't find that story to be really all that compelling, interesting, or well thought out whatsoever. I feel like a lot of it is out of left field, doesn't really make a lot of sense. We're adding unnecessary things just for the state. I mean, it's sequelizing. I understand it, but like, yes, we have to have a new member of the bloodline. Why couldn't Jamie just be the last one? Doesn't really make any sense. Oh, well, because of this curse and this constellation in the sky. And like, it's just like, when you really start to dissect it, you're like, yeah, Daniel Farrens was really, he was on some strong drugs when he wrote this. And like, I'm kidding because we've interviewed Daniel Farrens and I totally get where he was coming from. I just don't find that narrative to be really all that coherent. And if anything, we always talk about that any explanation for Michael Myers is inherently going to weaken the character. That's just true. Whether we like the explanation or not, it's going to weaken him. And this one, I think, weakens him more than any explanation we've been given in the franchise's history, because it literally just seems like he's a slave to other people. He's really just like the muscle. He's not the operation. Yeah. He's not the man behind the mask. Or,
you don't control Michael Myers. You just
and it's just kind of like, oh, awesome. The boogeyman is really just a hitman for hire. Like, cool. That's so fucking awesome.
But both versions of the film make it feel like that. But yeah, the producer's cut does state it more explicitly.
Well, there's great.
I get that from the theatrical cut too.
Yes,
like the theatrical cut. The theatrical cut removes the idea that Myers is the father of Jamie's baby.
Yes,
like they completely cut that out, and I love that they did that because.
Why? It's unnecessary. Yeah, like that. Yeah. That's one of the things where it's like we didn't need to do that. Like,
why did you do that?
Jamie could have had a baby from somebody else in the cult. It didn't need to be Michael. That's still his bloodline. Like the fact that you make that Michael is like really weird. But that's the thing. Like you're not wrong. And I think that the theatrical cut excising some of that makes it an easier swallow, because it's like, okay, I know it's there, but it's less there here, and I can jive with that a little bit more. But also, I just think that Halloween 6 is, I mean, Christian and I have talked about this for years. It's just heavy metal as fuck. And like, it's not just in the score in the theatrical cut, but like Michael Myers, I did a video on this the other day. I think it's the scariest Michael Myers. I think from the way they shoot him to the way they light him.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
How this Michael does not give a fuck. Like he
doesn't.
He's literally
scared the living shit out of me.
Yeah, like there's something about this movie, and I think the theatrical cut plays into that a little bit more. Like that operating scene, that operating room massacre, dude, holy legend. Fuck. Like, I love that scene. No, and I love that scene so much. So I agree. Yeah. That's why I've always been here with it. Like, if you say you prefer the producer's cut because it gives you more of the story they were trying to tell, I totally understand that. I can't argue with that. I just wasn't a huge fan of that story. So the less of some of that, the better. The more straightforward it is, the better for me. And also, last point, I think the ending of the theatrical cut takes a giant shit on the producer's cut's ending, because if nothing else, that scene of Pleasance and his last line delivery in the franchise saying that he has some business to attend to here, and that long stare, that pensive stare as it zooms out, you as the viewer watching that, it's almost like a goodbye from him. Like it's a moment where it's like, yeah, sure, we have the lead pipe before that, and we have the, oh no, the mask is on the ground, he escaped. But like that moment for me was like, that's such a more dignified send-off for Donald than the like, oh my God, look at this shitty CG Thorn symbol that's appearing on my wrist. Let me just yell and the movie's over. Like I much prefer that send-off. I just think that was like, I don't know. There was something, it's almost like Donald knew. Like he knew he was in poor health. Obviously, he had a heart surgery like right before filming this. So like he knew he didn't have much time left. And I feel like every time I watch that, it's like his goodbye to the fans. And like, I don't know. It's just, it hits me.
When a Halloween movie works, and this goes for all the movies, there's going to be a scene in it that shocks the hell out of you. And you're like, oh my God, I've seen so many of these movies, but they just did something there that I've never seen. To give you an example, the bathroom scene in Halloween 2018. even though that's the third favorite of the David Gordon Green trilogy. When I saw that bathroom scene I literally felt chills. I literally
It made me uncomfortable.
I felt uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I was like, I just want it to end. I feel really, really freaked out right now.
Dude,
About what's going on.
he's beating the shit out of
beating
Aaron.
the
Just
Michael
relentlessly.
fucking Myers. It's like, okay, we know that you like to buy these over at the Target, and the Myers figure. No, fuck that. We're still going to show you why Myers is the fucking king. Not just because he has an awesome kill or anything like that. No, we're going to scare the shit out of you. He's going to do something that just completely floors you. So throwing it back to Halloween 6, this is why I love this movie so much. I'm sitting in the theater watching this movie on the biggest screen. That score is amazing. Theatrical version, of course, on the big screen. They didn't have the producer's cut yet. My heart's pounding in that last act of the theatrical cut. It's just like that scene where Tommy Doyle is outside the door and the old lady comes out and her chest is all and Myers is just like looking at Tommy Doyle, and Tommy Doyle's face, he's just like,
he does this little twitch.
I felt like I need to get this door open because he's coming after me and I don't want to be anywhere near this guy. So I'm watching this on the big screen. Later in that final act, when you get to that lab massacre and not knowing that the lab massacre is going to happen, I was like, oh my God, what's it? Myers is picking up this big fucking knife that's like this long.
Fucking
And
machete, dude.
Surgical machete.
Surgical machete. And all those old dudes are in that room. And I'm like, he's not going to go in there and kill all of them in one fell swoop, is he? That's never been done in the franchise before. Not only does he fucking do it, but it's directed in the most awesome way ever with this like strobe light type thing going on. And you're seeing bodies hitting the door and blood coming out of mouths. And
drowning pool comes in. Oh yeah.
Old men are screaming for dear life. Like, oh God. And Myers is just like,
did you get that shot of that doctor's face up against the glass with blood just like pouring out as he's like sliding? And I'm like,
Myers is the scariest thing imaginable.
Dude, that scene, when I was a teenager, we lived in a house, my favorite house we ever lived in, and it was like, one time I turned it on and I was like, I timed it perfectly. I went outside into my backyard and I looked up at my bedroom window and I just saw like just flashing like up there. And I was like, dude, if anybody on the street is looking out their window right now, they're probably like, what the fuck is happening in that room? Like, it was insane.
Wow, what a scene. I guess we can zip up Halloween 6 Lover. I think that's a good note to end it on. And I love that Halloween 6, and I hate to pick on H2O. But anyway, I do it all the time. In my estimation, it seems like as the years go by, it started off, H2O was up here, Halloween 6 is down here. As the years go by, I'm seeing this. I'm seeing more people coming around to H6, and I'm seeing more people having problems with it. That's the Saturday night take my girlfriend out movie. You want some popcorn? Okay, I'll be right back. I'll go get us some nice popcorn. You want a Coke? Okay, cool. And then you come back and you might smooch a little bit and you're enjoying yourself watching your H2O nice safe movie. When you watch Halloween 6 with the girl, she wants to break up with you. It's over. Okay, I can't be with a person that likes a movie that's this fucked up and violent and just insanity. That's Halloween 6.
I mean, it is like it ascends in my ranking every time I watch it. I've been, rekindling my love affair with Curse of Michael Myers over the last like 3 years. And I would say at this point, I rank it above movies like Return of Michael Myers. Like I enjoy it more than H4. And I love that George Wilbur got a second crack at Michael, because there's nothing wrong with his performance in H4. But the way that Michael looks is really rough for the most part. The Meeker House stuff in H4 is awesome. He looks great. But I love that he's packed on a few more pounds. He's like more robust. That shot of him walking down the hallway where the camera is like down lower and tilted up and the flashing lightning behind him. And he's just got this like swagger to the way he walks. I'm like, dude, Michael looks so fucking awesome here. And if H2O kept the curse mask, that movie would be a lot better too, but they didn't do that.
And you think one of the things that really gets across how angry and brutal Michael is in 6 specifically, it still sticks with me. In the theatrical cut, when he takes Kara by the neck and slams her onto that table and he's choking her, and the noise that she's making, like she sounds like she's actually like being brutally choked, like gasping to breathe. Like it's just like, and he doesn't give a shit, dude. Like she's over here, her voice is like cracking, and she's like, and he's just like, die, bitch. Like it's like, that's one of those moments in the movie where you're like, or when he kills Barry Sims. Yeah, when he kills Barry Sims too, he's very matter of fact about it. Like it's very like, it's almost like he's like skewering him. You can't see it, but you hear it, buddy. Like, Michael's a fucking dick in this movie.
He's a dick. It's a little bit of a callback to Annie's kill in the first one, the Barry Sims kill. It's a little bit of a callback to that. Yep. And it's
you
right
can hear
after
bones cracking in that kill too.
And he calls him a pussy. He's like that pussy, Michael Myers. And then gets killed. One of the weird differences is in the theatrical cut. The little girl there that's on the screen right now below you, Lee, is just saying, "Mommy, it's raining. It's raining red."
It's raining
She's
red.
just saying it. And then in the producer's cut, it's, "Mommy, it's raining. It's raining red. Mama, it's raining."
Yeah, you're
it's
right.
raining.
You're
like
right.
that's such a weird thing to change. I like the singing. I know it's a little thing, but I'm like, that's such a weird. The 12-year-old boys that pre-screened Curse of Michael Myers really dislike that very much.
Stay away, monsters. Stay away, ghouls.
Yes.
You know the rules.
There's way more stuff. Kara has way more of a relationship with her son in the producer's cut. They have no relationship other than "I love you too."
Kara's an underrated final girl
in the theatrical. Yeah.
Would you guys agree with that?
Marianne Hagen is underrated, buddy. She's
awesome.
She really is.
She could definitely eat a sandwich, but I think she's great.
No, that's the thing too. Is like now it. Well, I don't know. I haven't seen her recently, but around the 25 years.
Oh my God, she's super hot.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. 25 years of terror era. I was like, holy shit! Like she is really hot. Like
she's hotter now. She's hotter now. It's wild.
Fine wine.
She is underrated, I think, and I like that whole. I like the Strode family dynamic, and you see a little bit more of it in the producer's cut. But it's like John Strode walked so what's his ass from Rob Zombie's movie could run. Ronnie, because some of the shit that John Strode says,
I hear Ronnie's voice in my head every day. Bitch, I'm all broken up here. I can't work.
I'm gonna skull fuck the shit out of you. But the way John Strode is like, why don't you give her all our goddamn money? Like just stuff like that, where it's like, dude, this guy. I said it the other night. I was watching it and I thought to myself, I was like, future Trump supporter.
Yeah, John Strode's like the uptown insurance salesman type.
We're not going there, goddamn it.
But
I just thought it was funny. It's not an attack on anyone. It's not a good or bad thing. It's just like who this guy.
Ronnie's the construction worker living in the trailer park, and then but they're both the same asshole, but they just have different upbringings, and that's why John Strode is a little bit more classy with being a dick, and Ronnie's just what the fuck. So and this comment I had to highlight. Hot take: Rob Zombie's Halloween is my favorite of the franchise, but Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is my least favorite. I highlighted that because I posted something very similar, just the opposite, on I think X the other day. I stated that after going through this whole run again, Rob Zombie's Halloween might be my least favorite now. It might be less than The Resurrection. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 is in my top 5. It's still like it's like immaculate.
No,
but Rob Zombie's Halloween, I can never make it through the movie. It's the one movie I feel like I want to turn off at a certain
Shut
point.
your mouth. Shut up, Lee. Just shut up. It's not worse than Resurrection. God damn it.
It's more unnecessary than
It is.
Resurrection.
But nothing is
Look, motherfucker.
Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 or Rob Zombie's Halloween, I think is like my second or third least favorite. So I'm not like over the moon about that movie. Halloween 2 I am, but God damn it. Resurrection is the only movie in this franchise that truly is a cinematic abortion. Like it doesn't the filmmaking's bad, the writing's bad, the acting's bad, Michael's bad. There's everything about that movie. I'm just like, who the fuck like saw these dailies and was like, yeah, dude, this is gonna hit. Like I don't know, man.
Are you
I know
talking about
I'm-
Resurrection?
Resurrection. God.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Well,
it's
you know,
everything on a
Resurrection was
technical
actually.
level.
I was literally following because I was on the. Was it on the Halloween message board or it was on like the website or something like that? But I was following updates for Resurrection back in 2001, I think. And I you know, because I'm a Halloween fanatic, it's like, oh my God, I can't wait for this movie. I can't wait for this movie. And then they it just like vanished for a year. They postponed the whole movie for a whole year. And then they quietly, it's like they like threw it like a hand grenade and then ran the other direction a year later in 2002.
Yeah, they said they saw the dailies and they were like, "This is dog shit." Like,
that was the weakest marketing campaign for a movie I've ever seen in my entire life. Was Halloween Resurrection?
dude,
They wanted it was a turd that they wanted to pass.
And I don't care what people think about Jamie Lee Curtis. Like, you have your opinions, it's fine. But like, I feel bad for her having to go through that because she was pissed about being contractually obligated to come back. She was not happy about it, and she had to be on the fucking press tour for the movie. And guess what? When they did the special features, notice how everybody's giving interviews. Jamie Lee's interview was on fucking set when she's sitting there in her fucking like hospital gown with her terrible wig, because she was like,
talk about it ever again.
Yeah, she's like, you're not getting me out here to talk about Resurrection. I'm on set.
Like,
you need special features. Film it here, motherfucker. Like,
she won't talk about it to this day. You can't even get an interview on the toilet with her about Resurrection.
Oh God.
Like that.
Yeah, it's like the producers. They went into the room. They farted, they left, and they locked the door, and all the fans are in that room, just like.
and look, I will say this before anybody goes like, bro, you're not the fucking arbiter of what's good and what's bad in the Halloween franchise. You're absolutely right. I'm not. Anybody that, because I like Halloween Ends, right? My opinion doesn't mean shit. I get that, but anybody that says, look, I have a fun time with Resurrection. It's not good, but I enjoy it. I get it, dude. I love Jason X. Okay. I'm not here to shame you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that I think from a technical viewpoint, just looking from a technical lens, it's a bad movie. It's a badly made movie. And I would say it's the only movie in the Halloween franchise that I'm like, you miss the mark on everything. You didn't do anything right. If someone's like, this is just junk food and I enjoy consuming it, fair. But like, technically, like Rob Zombie's Halloween at least looks fucking gorgeous. There's some great performances in it. Malcolm McDowell, Brad Dourif, fucking Danielle Harris. Like, there's meat on that bone there. Resurrection, that's like your dog got that bone out of the trash, cleaned anything that was on it, ate the bone, shit it out, and that's what you're left with. Like, it's, I don't know.
Michael Myers has an afro in one of the scenes when he like bursts through the door.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, JG, just really quick. When for one example, I've mentioned this 1,000 times. When Katie Sackhoff gets her head cut off in Resurrection and the body falls to its knees, you can clearly see it's a fucking mannequin. And I don't know how that got past the editing. That it's literally there's no blood and the stump is plastic. Like there's scuff marks on the fucking neck. Like, so that's just one technical aspect where it's like, oh, that's dog shit. But
one of
in the entire script is dog shit.
Yeah, in the beginning of the movie, JG, when Michael kills one of the guards at the sanitarium, the other guard walks in looking for his buddy, right? There's blood all over the floor. Somehow doesn't see the blood. Dude's body's got to be just like, somewhere nearby. And he's sitting there at the candy machine. And Michael does his lowering from the pipe because they just couldn't wait another movie. They just had to put that in the next movie from H2O to Resurrection. Michael would have been clearly visible when the guy walked in the room. Michael would be there, like holding himself up on this friggin'
rod. The fucking body would be there.
The body would be all this blood. Yeah, it technically Resurrection's a fucking mess.
It's bad. It's bad.
I hate it all. The one character that only talks about food just because he's a chef, so that's the one thing about his character.
Rudy.
Yeah.
Oh,
did we lose? Lee is either like giving us a death stare or he has officially frozen people.
I think he froze again. He's been having some latency issues, it seems like, tonight. But I think that's one thing that can bring a lot of us together as a society is like when most of us can agree Resurrection is probably the worst Halloween movie. Like, let's just be real. we may dislike one more, but like we look at it from an objective lens and we're like, yeah, that's probably the worst though. Like I'd still rather watch it over maybe this one or that one, but that one's just pretty much dog shit.
And what, Tabato's got it ranked third in his franchise, probably, right?
It's not that high, but he doesn't have it last. And trust me, it drives me up a fucking wall, dude. Everything about Resurrection too. Everything that people think was cutting edge, it's not. It's cribbing off of things before it that were more successful. Oh, let's do the Blair Witch thing. Yeah, you're just cheating. Oh, let's do the thing you mentioned, the drop down from the pipe from the previous fucking movie.
They just did it.
Like nothing you're doing is original, or it's just yeah, man. It really upsets me.
And just on the off chance that Tabato watches this, because I don't know Brandon personally, I get a kick out of your wild take. So I'm not talking shit. I'm just I get a kick out of it.
No, I'm talking shit, Brandon. I'm talking serious
that's
shit.
That's fair. You can, because you actually know him, so he knows where it's coming from. With me, he's probably like, "What the fuck is Davey Deathray?"
No,
Nick, did you see Bone Lake? Grim Beat dropped a super chat, $1.99. Thank you so much, Grim Beat. Really appreciate you. Even though that's Lee's money, but I appreciate it, man.
No, I didn't. I heard a lot of people talking about it. I thought the general like temperature around it was positive. Am I wrong?
Mm-hmm.
What am I missing?
It was fine. I saw it. I thought there was going to be more of a sexual aspect. The trailer made it look very sexy. Other than the people looking good, it wasn't very sexy. And I was hoping there would be more gore, but it was an interesting story. And really, there's only like 4 actors in this whole story.
So there's nothing, this whole film. There's nothing stupendous about it, is what you're saying?
Nothing stupendous. I think the only times you see bare breasts are in like still images. I don't think they use them in any like actual scenes. But I will say this: it's a good. If you're in a relationship, go check out Bone Lake and ask yourself, which one of these couples are we? I think it's a good litmus test for where you're at in your relationship, and maybe it will help you reach some sort of catharsis if you have any friction going on.
Well, see, here's the thing, man. It's a good thing I'm not in a relationship, because if I was, I wouldn't be able to be sitting here streaming right now. And then when this is done, going to play some Dead by Daylight. No, I wouldn't be able to do that. So,
man, the freedom and peace.
There he is.
My internet died.
Yeah, your camera's like side. Like, hey guys.
I got Resurrection cam.
On my computer.
Yeah, this is Resurrection.
It is.
We're in Resurrection. Yeah.
Oh.
Teal Kit said something wild. I think it was Teal Kit. Ends is unequivocally the worst in the franchise. Ooh,
I wouldn't say unequivocally.
I mean, technically, it's one of the best making films in the franchise. Technically,
yeah. But I mean, that argument has just been entertained. And there's people that they'll put on their tombstone, because you only get so many characters. They'll put, "I hate Halloween Ends." There's
next words out of your mouth better be some brilliant fucking Mark Twain shit, because it's definitely
movie scarred people, man. It scarred people, and I can't take that from them. If that movie touched them in the wrong place, that's not a nice.
Yeah, no, I've made that joke for years. It's so perfect. It's like, show me on the doll where David Gordon Green hurt you. Like, Jesus fucking Christ.
That's the crazy thing about movies, and I know this is cliche, and we say this all the time, but it truly is art. Not just Ends, but all movies. They're just art, and they affect us in different ways. We can't help that. Our brains it's a signal that we receive, and no two brains are the same. And my brain, when I get Halloween Ends, I feel like a chocolate sundae, and I'm just having the greatest freaking time of my life. And it tastes so good and delicious, and I love the score, and I love Corey as a character.
It's a dopamine rush, man.
It's a dopamine rush for me, dude.
I'm fucking stoked for Silent Night, Deadly Night solely because, like, yes, I love Christmas slashers, but dude, Rowan fucking Campbell, like, yes, I can't wait,
dude. I don't get it. I mean, I get it, I guess, because like I said, we're all wired differently, but it's interesting to me that you have a spectrum for Halloween Ends, and you have people like myself, and maybe you guys are on one complete end of that spectrum, elation. And then you have the complete opposite end of the spectrum, it's torture for some
Well, like
people.
I've said it for the longest time, and I feel validated in knowing that this exists. I have a video on my phone of me walking out of the theater opening night before I'd seen the discourse online, before it had really made the rounds. I didn't know. And I just recorded myself for my review that I was going to go home and film. And I said, guys, I was pessimistic about this and that. I fucking loved it. I just did. Yeah. And then I got home and I filmed my review and I put it up on YouTube. And within minutes, I was like, oh God, what have I done? What's happening? And you would get people that are like, oh my God, dude, you're just trying to be different. I'm like, how am I trying to be different when the embargo lifted fucking today? I didn't know what people thought of the movie.
When I walked out of that movie, I had no clue what the general public was going to think of it, And even in the crowd, because it was a packed house, I didn't see people like freaking out like it was like the worst movie. I saw some people were like, man, I like that. That was actually pretty
There
cool.
was some clapping at the end. I mean, white people love to clap in the Midwest here at the end of movies. Like sometimes
not a non-live show. It's not a live show. God, that's just beautiful.
But like
clapping at a screen. I'm clapping at a screen.
There were some people. There were some people just, oh yeah, and I was like, oh yeah, we're in Ohio.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I had the same. I didn't have a channel at the time, but I watched it opening night in IMAX, and when it ended, I loved every minute of it. And when that movie ended, I was like, that was, at the time, I was like, that might be my favorite in the trilogy. And here I am, a couple years later, 3 years later, it's my favorite sequel in the franchise. So, yeah, I mean, it's just opinion on art. So I'm not trying to give you a hard time there, Teal Kit. It's the easiest thing to disagree about is how we feel about art. At least Teal Kit, should be. So
Teal Kit, are you a music person? And that's another whole spectrum, music. Teal Kit might not like the same type of music I like, but for me, if you can give me music that I adore, then that gets me in the door. Yeah, thank you, Nick. And it's one of my favorites. It might be one of my favorites. It is one of my favorite, but it might be my favorite score out of the entire franchise.
Yeah,
I love that score for Halloween Ends.
And it has a really good soundtrack. The needle drops.
Yeah, Christian makes fun of me because I listen to it. I listen to the score all the time, and he's like, "Bro," he's like, "I don't get that." I'm like, "You're a horror movie fan, and you don't just listen to horror scores? Like,
I'll prove it. It's on my record player right now, dude." It's always on my record player.
Dude, I have the fucking vinyl in my kitchen on my tabletop because I listen to my tabletop when I do dishes and stuff.
I have 2 copies of this because I'm going to wear this out. I play it so much, and I know every song on it by heart, and it's a glorious soundtrack. And I'd say to the audience that doesn't like the movie, if you didn't really pay attention to the music, pull up your Spotify on your way to work tomorrow morning, okay?
Yeah.
Just listen to this soundtrack. If I got nothing for you if you don't like the soundtrack, because that opening Halloween theme, when you got this build of the opening scene where Corey, the tragedy happens, and that and then all of a sudden it's and it's like pulse. It's like the best rendition of the Halloween thing.
Dude. And furthermore, I gotta say, like, I don't know if you guys are the same way as I am, but like when you listen to the score, you're playing the scene out in your head, like, because you know exactly where it was. And like, I personally, the tracks that I love the most on the ends, and I want to get the names right because I don't want to, seem like a pleb, but the songs that I love the most are Corey's Requiem.
Yep.
Requiem for Jeremy. The Fight.
The Junkyard.
Kill the Cop.
Junkyard.
Yep. Kill the Cop.
Yep. Dude, Kill the Cop is awesome. And every time I listen to Kill the Cop, I literally envision how I felt sitting in that theater and watching Michael stab that cop and then just like fucking tremors. And in the theater, I got chills, dude. I was like, oh my God. Like,
I liked Corey and Myers kind of teaming up together. I thought that was,
Did you notice too? A lot of people don't notice this. I've seen people over the years talk about like they didn't really understand certain things in the scene. When they're killing Nurse Deb, and Corey puts his hand up on the sliding door.
Yep.
When he's in Michael's proximity, he's healing. Like
he is
I noticed healing in Michael's proximity. And it's like, but I don't think a lot of people picked up on that. But like, yeah, when he's with Michael, it's like he's taking the energy from Michael Myers. Like,
and there's a glorious Myers moment in that scene too with Deb, because Corey's still kind of figuring things out, and he's messy, and then here comes Myers like a freaking freight train, just picking her up. Let me show you how it's really done, and he just slams her up against the wall like the old pro. And I got chill bumps during that scene.
She's a sweetheart too. I interviewed Michelle. She's a sweetheart and a total smoke show. Would love to see her in more horror movies. She got the best kill and ends. That's the best kill in the movie, I think.
Chappie says,
no, it's the blowtorch. It's the blowtorch. My bad.
Yeah. He says, do you think the multiple endings shop in different theaters would have been a good idea or not? I'm guessing. Is he talking about
Resurrection?
Oh yeah, the movie was just so bad that I don't think even playing. I mean, it'd be a cool idea to like not know which ending you're getting.
They were all bad though. They were all bad.
They were all bad. They were all stupid endings. So I mean, can you imagine that approach is cool if you have a really great movie and you actually film 4 really great endings? That'd be kind of cool too. It's like collect the endings. And so I got to go see the movie 4 times. But what if you saw the same ending like twice or I don't know. But for Resurrection, it doesn't matter.
They did that with Clue in different regions. When they released Clue, you got different endings depending on the region you were in. Yeah. Now, did you guys? This is something totally we're talking about, and so I'm bringing it up. I know we're trying to wrap this up, but just 7 hours or 5 hours ago on Bloody Disgusting, an article got published. The headline reads, "Original ending of Halloween Ends would have taken place inside a mask factory," and it's Jamie Lee Curtis talking about like 3 different endings to Halloween Ends, or at least 2 other than the procession. And they would have shown, essentially, Silver Shamrock producing Michael Myers masks was a possible ending. So,
that was something that out there. It was something that DGG toyed with in the early stages of writing Ends, and he eventually was like, "Oh, we're not going to do that," because their focus was more on wrapping it up. Because they knew that it was a 3-picture deal. That was really all the story they had to tell. Furthermore, he didn't want to muddy the waters too much with making Halloween 3 somewhat canon, because then you're opening an entire can of worms, which I understand. Sure. But yeah, when I heard the legends of that a couple years ago, because I think David Gordon Green was the first one that actually had mentioned like, we almost did something like this. I still couldn't help but be like, okay, why the fuck didn't you? Like, continuity be damned.
So Jamie Lee says the original ending of Halloween Ends, originally entitled Halloween Dies, was a scene in a mask factory. You see a conveyor belt of masks being manufactured. They're Michael Myers masks, which was saying we're all monsters if we put them on the mask. It's not just Michael, it's all of us if we wear the mask. And yet somehow that didn't satiate. I think it was too intellectual for this finale. Yeah. It was a big swing, and I honor the support and support the big swing. And then she said there was another ending where there was a transference.
Yep, and it was bad
between Laurie and Michael, and Laurie needs to go like isolate herself because now she's got the bug.
They kept some of that in this original ending in a sense. Like, you see Allison because the original idea was Allison goes to Laurie's house the next day, and Laurie, I'm pretty sure, grabbed Allison by the throat. And I think in the telling of it, Laurie was like, "You need to leave. Like, leave town, get out."
Oh, wow.
And so the scene you see in Ends where Allison is emotional driving out of Haddonfield, that is in Ends. That was
interesting.
After that happened, but they went with the more like upbeat. She gets her, her man Hawkins, and everything's great. But initially, it was supposed to tease that the evil never dies. That was the idea. But I would have complete dog shit. I would have hated the fuck out of that. I'm sorry. Like, no, I get that, but like with Laurie, why didn't it transfer the 15 times before she came face to face with this motherfucker? Like,
that's the problem.
We can't do that.
Teal Kit. I mean, we could go all day, man. With the, it's not gonna make a. You're not gonna make us like it, and we're not gonna make you. Or you're not gonna make us dislike it, and we're not gonna make you like it. It's just not gonna happen. And you can talk semantics and say this character shouldn't have done this. This character shouldn't have wore those shoes. It doesn't matter. It's all about sensory. It's about what's in your brain and how your brain feels when you're watching the movie. I'm not the type of moviegoer that just sits there and like picks apart. That's a bad way of putting it. I guess what I mean is the little semantics. You know, I think movies, they grab you at a certain point, and once they grab you, you give yourself over to them, and you're along for the ride, and you don't know where that ride's going to go, and you're fine with it. And then there's certain movies, they don't grab you ever. And because they don't grab you, you start focusing on things that maybe you wouldn't focus on if they did grab you. And I think that's maybe what happened with Teal Kit there. The movie never grabbed him. He not saying he went into the movie wanting to hate it. He probably went into it wanting to love it, but immediately he was just like, I don't like what they're doing here. Why haven't I seen Myers yet? Why is Myers inside this sewer here? I don't like that. That's not my Halloween movie. And I think a lot of people did that. And because of that, then they start latching on to little semantics, you know, and that's just not how movies work for me. If I'm in, I'm in. And as long as you don't go off a cliff or something like that, then I'm along for the ride.
There's also something to be said for people that deify Michael Myers in a way. I definitely have had, conversations with people over the years since Ends came out that view Michael Myers in such a light where anything that they feel like diminishes him is sacrilege. And I've always said to them, I just don't view Myers that way. I just don't view him as
you're so right, Nick. I'm the same way. I'm a story guy. Yes, Myers, I love Myers to death, but I'm also interested in the evil that's inside Myers and what can we do with that evil. And so I love the stories. Let's mix it up, because the evil at some point transferred into Myers when he was a child. We teased that idea with Halloween 4 with it passing to Jamie. Why all of a sudden that we're doing it now are people and Myers is at like his body is in such a state where, it's breaking down.
It's also the excuses people will give for that too is like, well, it made more sense in 4 or they'll say like, it didn't make sense in Ends because it wasn't set up. It wasn't fucking set up in 4 either. Jamie gave no inclination until the very end of the movie that she had a murderous fucking bone in her body.
Yep.
Like, I just feel like that's nostalgia goggles being like, well, it made more sense. No, it didn't. You just have fond, warm, fuzzy memories of that movie. So you give that a pass.
Yep.
And then even in Curse with the producer's cut, I think Dr. Wynn explains it as basically like this evil has always existed. We just found a way to like put it in something.
That's the thing too with Ends. If you go back and watch a lot of the entries in the franchise, like I just did, you pick up on that evil angle actually more than you think you would, especially via Loomis. Loomis actually talks about Myers as an an evil. He doesn't. You're talking about him as if he is a man. That part of him died years ago. It's right there for you, people.
My understanding of Myers always has been that he was a conduit, essentially. Like there was something greater that inhabited that body, but it's still just a body at the end of the day. And when that body withers and breaks down, it's going to find a new conduit. Like that's just. You could even say that's an allegory to demonic possession, if you believe in that or whatever. Like it's the same fucking thing. Like eventually the vessel, the host that you are in, is going to give out. So what do? You go to the next one. Like I memean, that's how I view it at least.
Yeah, and Teal Kit did say I'm a 78 purist, and I totally get it. I'm curious with the people that identify, self-identify as purists, Dave McCrae, feel free to reach out to me. Do you hate all the other are all the other movies like automatically like trash, but just like a varying degree? And I'm not even being sarcastic. I am sincere. I'm curious to know, like, when you are a 78 purist, like, do you even like Halloween 2 because it takes place on the same night, or like, I'm just kind of curious.
I think I can answer that for Dave. I think it's a relevancy thing. I don't think they're necessarily trash. I think are they relevant? And Dave McRae is such a purist with the first movie. And I think he really likes the second movie because it feels like in that same vein.
Technically it's 78. Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard him talk about other movies in the franchise though, like Halloween 4. I think that would probably be his maybe third in there. But I don't think I don't hear Dave McRae. The only one I hear him going crazy over that I've heard is 5. I know he goes hard on 5, but I think a lot of the other movies, he'll highlight things that, as far as like Myers as a character goes, I think that's what he hones in on with the other movies. Myers doing the trick or treat walk in Halloween 2018. I'm guessing, but I'm thinking Dave probably appreciated that scene because it harkens back to the essence of Myers in that first movie, right? But I don't think he wants to trash all the other movies. I think it's a relevancy thing. They're just not relevant.
That's a great thing about this space too, and it's very important to just remind ourselves and everybody else, nobody is the arbiter of what makes these things enjoyable to you or not enjoyable. And so it's like, I don't go to reviewers for my opinion on stuff. I do like, it does help when I like a reviewer and they kind of reinforce my opinion. Like when they agree with me, I'm like, fuck yeah, like we see eye to eye on this. But if they don't, okay, that's awesome. Like I'm sorry it didn't work for you, man. Like,
well, and like you and I have both covered this, Nick, as well. Just for Teal Kit, if you're curious, Nick just did a series of movies where it's like fixing the problems with David Gordon Green's trilogy, or, just changing little things. And I've done something similar to where it's just like, I still like the movie. I still feel like you can like the movie and still see the flaws in it. And they all have their flaws, but I really love those movies.
I mean, guys, my second favorite Halloween movie is Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. And I did a video on how to fix that one too, because there are issues with it. Like, I mean, it's okay. It's okay. Like, it's all right to say, not every I wouldn't even say not every, no Halloween movie is Citizen Kane, aside from maybe the original. Like, let's just be real. I don't know. The
most fun I've had with reviewing a movie, being honest here, it might be Halloween Ends, just because of the divide of that movie. And so I kind of pushed it upon myself to maybe try to understand where the hatred is coming from. I don't know if I succeeded that well, although I spent a good 30 minutes trying to do it in my revisited review. And I really tried to hone in on a lot of the complaints. And one of the biggest being Corey beating up Myers. And that was an easy one for me to explain, honestly. If you really put take your hate for the movie and take your love for Myers out of the equation and think about the story and what they're trying to tell you there, that's not Corey. And then there's a scene, I can't remember the exact phrase, but I actually put it in the review. You turn your subtitles on during that scene, and Corey says a line in there that signifies to the audience that, oh, that's not Corey, that's the evil. The evil has taken over Corey, and the evil says, you're just a man now. The evil literally tells Myers, you are just a man. And that's how Corey, even though it's not technically Corey, takes over Myers.
But also, like, it wouldn't even be like, it's not even a stretch, because like, look at Rowan Campbell. The dude's pretty built. Like he was a dude in his 20s that's pretty built. Like I think he could take a guy in his late 60s. I do personally.
Yeah. But that response would probably piss people off, what Nick just said, because to some people, Myers is sort of a superhero. He has a supernatural type strength. And so when you say it's a human being who's kind of built, Myers has taken on quite a few people that are actually pretty big, pretty built, and he handles them like it's nobody's business. So
there's an unexplained supernatural quality.
Yeah. So to go a step further, you can explain that more with, I guess, focusing in on who Corey is really in that scene. It's not Corey. It's the evil.
Yeah. I mean, once he has the outfit on, like when he goes to the radio station and the junkyard, I'm like, this is Myers. Like, this is the shape. He actually,
he becomes the shape. That's why he walks like the shape.
You know what's funny?
And he reminds me of Dick Warlock because he's got the collar pop.
Right before the movie came out, I don't know if it was a TV spot or like a final trailer or something, but there's a shot of it's the underneath shot where you have what looks to be Michael standing over the person at the junkyard right
Yep.
before he smashes the face in that trailer. I was like, that's Corey. And I knew that because the collar was popped. And I was like, that's not Michael. He doesn't have his collar popped like that. Like when I saw that trailer, because I had already known the Corey thing was coming, I was like, that's not Michael. I know for a fact that. And so I knew going into the movie, we are going to have at least one scene where Corey is full Michael fucking get up.
Yeah,
and so like
it's great.
I was prepped for that. But some
Yep.
people were not. They went into it like, what the fuck is this? And I'm like,
I am getting all pumped up over here. I want to watch Halloween Ends tonight.
I know, me too.
yes, Tony, you are right. Black Christmas 2006 is fantastic. We will be doing something about that franchise in December on this show. We have to, because I love two of those three movies.
Right,
and I hate that third movie so much I can talk endless shit about it. So cannot wait.
And Glenn Morgan he totally got Weinstein on that one, man. It's a heartbreaker. That movie's great and could have even bad. Yeah.
Next year's the 20th anniversary, baby. Give me a Steelbook 4K. Steelbook 4K. I fucking need it.
It's got to happen, man. I like it. It must be a rights issue or something like that. The reason we haven't seen that.
Dimension, the Weinsteins, all of that shit under that umbrella. When they went under, it got liquidated and shit went here and there. And it's just.
Give me an Arrow release for that.
Christian did tell me that when he talked to Cliff McMillan, eventually he said that it's something that's going to happen, and it's something they've been trying to do for years.
Did you watch Christian's video with the screen, the outdoor?
I didn't watch it yet because I came home from work and I fucking passed out on my couch. So I'm gonna watch it. I did take the picture
in his backyard.
I know. I did take I screenshotted the picture of him. Well, I can't show you guys some of the edits I made, but it's him sitting on the ground in that thumbnail, and I was photoshopping stuff into it and sending it to him. So
there was a funny, and I'm sorry for picking on Christian, but there's because he's sitting on the ground and he's putting the screen down, and he does this little butt scoot, and I kept hitting my mouse to go back and forth, and his little butt scoot. It's just funny.
He had told me a couple weeks ago he was like messaging me and he's like, look what I'm doing. He sent me a video of he had Halloween on the projector in his backyard. And I was like,
it looks glorious.
And he was like, I'm gonna make a video on this. I'm like, that's pretty fucking cool. So I do plan on watching that. I watch a lot of Christian stuff. I mean, he does 4K reviews and stuff, and I'm like, I'm not gonna buy that movie, so I'll probably
I'm the same way.
That's his thing. He's a physical media guy. So I
don't watch a lot of physical media videos, no matter the creator. I just don't get into watching, I guess, the special features and stuff like that of a physical media release, unless it's I didn't even watch any videos on the Nightmare box set, really. I want it myself to get it, and I want to just take it out and enjoy it. That's all I want to do. I don't really care to watch. Everybody's got their thing with YouTube videos. I watch a lot of true crime type videos on YouTube, stuff like that. I don't know. I'll go down rabbit holes. Do you guys do that with YouTube?
I watch debates. Debates are I think the thing, which is crazy because you guys might be going oh, you're probably watching a bunch of horror stuff on YouTube. No, it's debates. It's
Same
usually
here.
Panel debates and stuff. I dig that. It's just,
I don't really watch horror reviews and stuff like that. I can't even stand watching myself. I do watch reviews for movies if I'm interested in seeing it, or if I did see it and I liked it and I want to know what somebody else that I'm friends with thought of it. But that's really about it. I mean, I respect the grind. I respect the hustle. I think a lot of us do, but if you've been doing it a while and as you start to see success, it's hard enough to keep up with your own shit, let alone to keep up with everybody else's. So it's just hey, I'll throw a like to my buddy's videos and stuff if it comes across, if I don't watch it, but don't take that as I'm oh, fuck you, I don't care. No, I just Lee, I can imagine it's 10 times worse for you. You get hundreds of comments a day. I can't even keep up with that. So it's just I try my best, but I just like to let my audience know that I'm watching, and if anything, I'll try to do a heart or something.
Throw a heart. But if someone said something that gets under my skin, I make sure to reply. Somebody said something earlier about my Child's Play 3 video, and he deleted his comment like 2 minutes after he posted it. I don't think he knew I saw it. And it said, like, because I was defending Child's Play 3, and all I saw on the preview was, I'm starting to think you were dropped on your head because,
yeah,
and
man,
I clicked on it and
they're
it was
dicks.
gone. Well, he put another comment in like 5 minutes later and was like, yeah, I'm not really a fan of this movie. And I replied to it and said, I didn't even like pay attention to the comment. I just replied, hey, I wasn't dropped on my head when I was young, but I did bust it open a few times, winky face. And he didn't reply. Like, I know, I saw you, buddy.
You know, the funny thing is, since we're talking a little bit of YouTube here, like I guess I would call my reviews produced, meaning you can tell, like, I cut things, I put B-roll, I try to make it a production. Ironically, I don't like watching those type review videos, like where people cut stuff up. I might have said this to you, Davey, but Cecil's Horror Show, after I review it myself, because I don't like to be clouded with other people's thoughts, after I review myself, I go and I watch Cecil's video, because Cecil just kind of like, there's no cuts. He just talks it through.
Yeah.
Or I'll watch like Jason from Sinister Cinema Reviews. He hits record and he sits back and he talks. And for some reason, that makes me feel, I don't know, it's just comforting to me. You know, it's weird that I don't like watching my own style.
It's one of the reasons why I stopped doing reviews on my channel, because I was like, well, I'll review stuff with Cecil when I do horror show stuff, and it is just stream of consciousness. So you keep all the mistakes, and it turns into a 20 to 30-minute review. But it is one of those things where it's like, there is something so much more conversational about it. Nick, I think that's one of your strong suits as well in your pre-recorded videos, is they sound completely stream of consciousness. And I
you wouldn't be able to tell
editing in there, but holy cow, man, it's impressive.
No. So I don't take notes. I never have. I literally just hit record, and like, just to show you, that's my Pet Cemetery video that I have to start editing. That's all the clips. Now, a lot of that is I'll get tripped up when I'm saying something, but like I'll get rolling and I just roll. I just go. Yeah. And I'm just like, because I don't talk about things I don't have a passion for. So it's easy for me when I'm talking about something that I'm passionate about to formulate thoughts on the fly about it. It's just like something I was really good at speech and debate in high school. Made a girl cry once. She had a shit position on something. I'm sorry. Like, I'm gonna take it to the woodshed on it. But like, talking has been a strong suit of mine for a while. Like, and so I kind of felt like I found my niche here in YouTube. And like, over the last couple months, I've gotten a lot of comments from people like, dude, there's something about the way you explain stuff and like how your point of view and how you talk, and like people are talking about like my inflection and my voice and stuff, and I'm like, I've never thought about any of this, so like, thank you, I appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, it's definitely I guess the only talent I have. I couldn't play sports, but buddy, I can talk. So
you know, I think you just got to make it personal, and I think that's what you do, Nick. Yeah, you have a nice sounding voice and all that, but I think even if you have the nicest sounding voice, if you sound like a news reporter and you don't make it personal, and it just kind of sounds like every other review out there, then I think people will check out. But you know, Nick and I try to purposefully put in some sort of personal story in my reviews. That's why you'll hear me bring up my family a lot.
Oh, I do that all the time. You gotta, you know, because if you can relate to that person watching your video, you know, like sometimes I'll say, like, my younger viewers, you might remember doing something like this, you know, because that way he's talking to me. And like, please don't,
I'm talking to them.
Please don't ever put me in a box. That's what I don't want to do with my audience. Like, don't view me as a content creator. That makes me fucking cringe. Like, I am a human. And I'm talking about things that make me feel very human emotions. And as I'm talking about them, I'm going to tell you little stories about those emotions and that journey that I've been on. And I feel like that endears people to you. I've come across content creators where it is very, very business-like, and I can't do it. It's not my thing.
Same. And they're so professional. And you're like, damn, they could probably talk in a big seminar or something like that, and they'd probably do a freaking kick-ass job, or they could probably kill a PowerPoint presentation like nobody's business. I can't. I'm horrible because I had to do it when I was in the military. I had to like teach stuff like hazard material training and stuff like that, and I was horrible at it. Oh my god, I can't like look at a PowerPoint presentation and talk to people. I have to like just look at them in the eye. That's the way
I also just think I view it from like, I know that there's younger people that watch me too, and there's older people. There's a range of people that watch, and I guess I'm just like, for years and years growing up, I was kind of like an outcast in my own family because I was the only one that liked a bunch of this stuff and wore these t-shirts and collected these movies. And I know there are thousands, millions of people like me out there. And they like to find somebody that makes them feel like, yeah, this really isn't weird. And if it is weird to some people, who gives a shit? Like I'm proud of what I like and who I am. And that's kind of how I approach it, I think.
Davey, I think you got that gift too. And I'm not bullshitting you. Immediately when I heard Davey talk, I was just like, oh, he's going to go. I think if Davey started 10 years ago, Davey would probably have like 1 million subscribers. You're like,
oh yeah, buddy. Had I been up real, Christian and I talk about that all the time. He's like, dude, had you been up?
Timing is a big thing in YouTube, man. Like, when I went to a screening the other night, and this guy recognized me, and he happens to be in the Critics Guild here in Florida. And he says, hey man, I've been watching your channel for a while and everything. And I think he was trying to talk because he just started like a year ago. And I was like, first thing I did was like, dude, put your channel name right there on my phone. I want to subscribe to you right now. So I subscribed to him. And then when I went home, I watched some of his stuff. He's amazing. He's freaking, and he's got the shorts thing down perfectly. And he's doing pretty well. But I was telling him, I was like, timing, man, if you would have started 10 years ago, the climb would have been so much easier. And I think that's one thing that did help me, is that I started 10 years ago and I was able to kind of get a jump early on some things. Cause I think if I started now, oh my God, it'd be brutal.
It's still attainable though. I tell this to people.
Oh yeah,
all the time.
It is
still attainable. Like
for sure.
You have to apply yourself, and you're going to have to understand. I was talking to Facci about it. We've talked about it a couple of times, because he'll be like, man, I want to try to break out too. Like I really want to, I'm not seeing what I want to see. And I get that. I've been there. And I'm like, dude, it is a sacrifice. You have to sacrifice.
You have to work.
Do it. And if it's just not, it's not for everyone. And that's okay. Like I don't have my son full time. I'm not in a relationship. So like I get home from work, I've got the fucking time. I don't have an excuse.
Yep.
And so like I'm doing it, and I'm staying up. I'll be up until 2 tonight editing this video. So I have that ready to post tomorrow, because like, it's just something where I'm like, I don't know, man. I've been doing it long enough to where it's just kind of like,
dude, we were talking before the stream, and you were saying I'm trying to put out a video a day, and that's wild. That's what it takes. And Christian does that too. He puts out a video a day. Sometimes he'll put out 2 videos a day.
In September,
and I can feel the work that he's putting into his videos.
In September, I did 27 uploads and 2 live streams. So 29 out of 30 days, I had something new on my channel.
That's insane.
And buddy, let me tell you something. You see it in the ad revenue and in the growth on your channel. You definitely do. Yeah. And Christian said, what you want to worry, you don't want that to, you don't want to become too reliant on that secondary income. And I said, I hear you, but I disagree, because 1 month of that shows you I can do this every month. I got to work for it, but I can do this every month. So that's kind of where I'm at right now, is like, I'm just doing it. And, I was getting shit from some people like, oh man, you're doing a bunch of Halloween. Yeah, I'm a completionist and I have OCD. So when I start a series, I have to finish it. My brain will be like, well, you didn't do this one. And it'll fucking eat at me. And then over the last week or so, I've been doing other shit. I don't just talk about Halloween, but like, I had to finish that. I was not going to not fucking finish that. It was all building up to my collection video that I do every year. And I uploaded that one yesterday, and that thing takes forever to make. That video every year, I fucking hate it, because sitting on my bed, oh man,
hating editing.
A bunch of shit.
I started editing a Crow documentary probably 4 months ago, and I still haven't made it through the first movie yet. It's probably, after all said and done, the documentary is probably going to be like an hour, and it covers all 5 movies. And it's It's intimidating trying to,
Yeah.
and I've done 2 other documentaries before, and I'm gonna tell you, dude, it takes something out of you when you, and because you have to still put out your normal content, but find time behind the scenes to work 3 months on this project to get it out.
Well, and
Before-
J Beach says in the chat, like, one a day seems like a tall order. Like, yeah, let me tell you something, Lee. You've been doing pre-recorded content longer than any of us here have. Like, the easiest part's recording it. That's easy.
Oh my god,
that's so easy. I just hit record and I'm like, here's my bullshit thoughts, and then I look at all the video clips and I'm like, now I need to get clips and photos and make a thumbnail,
dude.
and trim all of these clips, and it's like, fuck.
Oh, it takes. I tell people, I'm like, it takes sometimes at least the amount of, like, twice as much time as it takes to shoot a video. And you know, that's one of the things that kind of pulled me away from pre-recorded content. Is it would take me 45 minutes to just say what I wanted to say in a 10-minute movie review, like a non-spoiler review. And then you spend 2 hours editing it, and then you don't really see great numbers on it. And it's like, well, fuck, I have a lot more fun when I just go live, and I feel a lot more comfortable just, you know, like you were guys talking about doing the relatability stuff. Like, I feel way more relatable live than I feel like I am on my pre-recorded stuff, because I'm way more like nervous about pre-recorded, and I want to make sure I'm saying the words right and all that kind of stuff. I don't know what it is, but yeah, guys, I wanted to start a channel in, it was like 07. Like, if I started a channel in 07 when I originally wanted, when I fell in love with the Angry Video Game Nerd, holy shit, my life would be completely different right now.
It would, because I mean, you're very personable. You got the, you know, but even if you started in 07, I think it does take work. And the good thing about pre-recorded is that there'll be times where I'll say a line and I'll fumble it, or I don't like the way it came out, and I'll pause and I'll say it again, you know, and that's the good thing about editing is
I'll drop a bunch of F-bombs and say things I shouldn't. And then,
I get so worked up and mad at myself for messing up.
I'm
don't, not very nice to myself.
Dude, I feel comfortable with talking it out.
You don't want to see
editing.
my bloopers.
That's the pain.
My bloopers, dude.
Oh yeah, mine too. Davey, let me tell you this. I've had recording sessions where at the end of the recording, I was like, I didn't have it today. That's going to be a really, really shitty video. And then I've come through the edit, and somehow it worked. And I go back and I watch it, and I'm like, damn, I actually sounded pretty like I knew what I was talking about in that video. But when I recorded it, I could have sworn I fell on my face. I was horrible.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel about this. That's kind of how I feel about this Pet Cemetery one I recorded, because I was trying to do it quick before we got started, since I took a nap. And near the end of it, I felt like I was really hitting my stride. But in the beginning, I was like, am I repeating myself? Am I kind of saying the same thing here? So I'm looking forward, I guess, to going through the edit on this one to see if I was just making something out of nothing. But yeah, dude, I don't know. My bloopers, though, I get very, very mad at myself. And I send some of them. I send some of them to Christian. I will call myself the worst fucking names. The thing that trips me up the most in every time I record something is clearing my throat. I'll start talking and I'll be like, fuck. God,
that's why I always have this and this, like at least 2 bottles of something.
Yeah, I've noticed if I eat eating Chipotle for some reason and then going recording after, I feel like I have a fucking frog in my throat, and I'm always like, bro, what's
chicken?
I don't know, man.
And it's always worse than you think it is when you go back. I've had the same thing where I go back to edit and I'm like, oh yeah, it is. I thought I wasn't charming at all and didn't have like any good deliveries, but there they are. But yeah, I mean, I tell myself all the time, like, you're just wasting your own fucking time, bro.
The most rewarding thing though is when you do make one and you watch the edit back and you're like, dude, I was fucking cooking here. Like I've definitely had videos like that where I'm like, this is a good one. And then you're bummed when it doesn't explode, because you're like, what the fuck? Like, I was funny. Like, this is bullshit.
That's the toughest one too, is when I'm like, oh, I that was actually funny. It wasn't just me thinking it was funny, and then it falls on its face.
Yeah, that's a thing too. Like comedy, you can create comedy with the edit. Like you could record yourself saying something and it's not funny at all, but somehow you can, because of timing, you can make that thing that you didn't expect to be funny really funny in the edit. You know, especially when you like to zoom in or something.
I almost worry that if people just listen to me and they don't watch the videos, you're missing some things, because like
Sure.
Like my Halloween collection video specifically, I literally said something where I was like, I'm going to show you guys things you haven't seen before. And then I gave this look like, and then it went to the next clip. Like, it's like, if you're not watching, you're not getting some of my comedy. I have a very inappropriate sense of humor, and that seeps into my videos where, like, if you're watching, you'll see me make faces sometimes where you're like, wait, was he insinuating something? Like, yes, I was.
Well, the line you use to close out every video is dirty as fuck.
And that was the funny thing, that I think a commenter had said something like, pulling out of the drive-in like years ago. And I was like, because I had said it once by accident when I was trying to find like an outro, and it kind of caught. And I was like, I'm just going to do that. I did get one negative comment about it, though, in my time, and I'll never forget it. They're like, really? Do we need the sexual innuendo at the end? And I'm like, yes, fuck you.
You're like, leave me alone, Mom. Quit commenting on my video.
Yeah, my mom does. She's commented on my shit recently. She like figured out YouTube, and I'm like, go away, Mom. Like,
she's like, he did fall on his head. I dropped him when we came home from the hospital.
She sent me a picture a couple weeks ago. If she was watching one of my videos, she took a picture of her TV. She's like, we're watching your channel. I was like, please don't.
Yeah, that's awkward. Oh my God. I've had people pull up my channel in front of me as I'm standing there, and I literally just want to run away. Like, even in my house, like even if my wife pulls up my video,
I don't want to listen to myself.
I hate it. It's so awkward.
I don't get high on my own supply. I don't want to hear myself talk.
No.
I don't. I hear enough of it when I edit it. Once it's out into the world, you guys can like it or not like it. I ain't fucking touching that thing.
Yep. I got videos I didn't even know I reviewed. You know, they'll just pop up in my feed, and I'm like, oh, I reviewed that? Oh, shit, that was like 10 years ago.
Oh yeah, you don't go back to those, Lee. Trust me. I've gone back to those old ones before when someone will comment on it, and I'm like,
that's like the Pet Cemetery, man. That the freaking the Indian burial ground.
Dead is better.
You don't
dead is better. Yeah.
Dead is better. Well, I guess we could close it up because news-wise, there's just nothing like really. It's all like speculation, and we're never getting a Friday the 13th movie or a Nightmare movie. Let's just cut to the chase. So I'm not even gonna like go there. But plus time-wise, I gotta go.
Yeah, we've given y'all 2 hours. We've given y'all 2 hours.
This has been an epic one.
Don't get greedy.
This was a great one, yeah. And man, the audience, you guys keep us going. You know, none of this happens without you guys. So I really appreciate all you guys watching and keeping Hit the Bricks going. It's been so fun, and I called this first annual because I plan on doing second annual and third annual and so on. So with my partners in crime here. So yeah, thank you, Chappie. Thank you, everybody, though. Davey, any last words? Anything you want to promote?
Any last words, Davey?
Yeah. So tomorrow, we're doing I'm doing a watch party of the original Nightmare on Elm Street with the folks from Sledgehammer Horror, Frank from Frank's Media and Reviews, and Brett from Good Real Hunting. And we're doing it because we lost a community member of ours, Raymond Malaber, earlier this year, and it's his birthday tomorrow. And A Nightmare on Elm Street from '84 was the movie that got him into horror. So we're just going to do a little birthday celebration for Raymond. We're going to simulcast that on all the channels so you can check it out there. And then I've been doing a whole bunch of these live tier maker rankings where the audience gets to vote. So last night we did the Halloween franchise. That was really fun. Next week on Late Night with the Davey on Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, we're going to tackle the Scream franchise. And in between then, I'm dropping shorts for my first time watches, and I've got some other spooky season stuff in the works as well.
Nice. What about you, Nick?
So I do have that Pet Cemetery video that's going to come out tomorrow, come hell or high water. If I get too tired editing tonight, guess what? I'll finish editing tomorrow at work.
Yep.
And then I'm definitely going to stream at some point this weekend, just because I haven't yet in October. And I like to stream at least once a month, trying to do it a little bit more because I know people really like to engage that way. So I'll do something this weekend, either tomorrow night or Saturday night. Yeah, I mean, just you're going to have a video of some kind. I don't think these things out in advance, guys, but there'll be a new video every day. I promise you. So if you're subscribed to my channel, you're not going to have to go longer than 24 hours at a time to get new content. Don't really know. I mean, I'm looking forward to the stream that we're doing with Piz at the end of the month. Lee, I know that we're doing that. I think it's a Friday before Halloween. I'm doing we're gonna do a live on my channel, like a Unita Halloween party, which I'm gonna invite other creators on too. So, and we haven't even thought that far ahead yet of who, but keep your guys' DMs open, I guess I'll say. We just kind of want to have it a panel and bullshit and all that. Brandon's going to be on there. So if you come on, give Brandon shit. But yeah, dude, it's October, got to keep the content flowing. And yeah, so that's what we're doing.
I got the Black Phone 2, I think, is coming out. I got a press screening for that early next week. It's Universal actually sent me a jacket and a t-shirt. I got to promote that. Oh, the funny thing is Universal Studios sent me a jersey for him. I'm an asshole. And I call it like I said, and on the thumbnail I put absolute trash. And I had to make an Instagram reel for them. And I was like, God, man, you feel it's brutal. So it must be tough for them. But I got to call it like I see it. So, but yeah, Black Phone 2 is coming out. You know what? Quickly, Steven from Craven Something Scary. I just realized this, and my biggest regret is never getting to know him. I saw him in the space a few times, and he seemed like the nicest freaking guy on the planet. And we lost him, and it hit a lot of people in the horror community really hard, especially Knight from the Night Watch Zone, and Jake. But yeah, man, it's always tough when we lose somebody in the horror community, but it just every day, guys, thank God for every day you hear, because you never know what's going to happen. So yeah, guys, I guess that'll wrap it up though. Take care of everybody. Love you guys so much, and we'll definitely see you on the next one, hopefully in 2 weeks. Peace, everyone.
Take care, y'all.
Love you guys.
Buck naked.